Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, from border to border and coast to coast and all the ships at sea. This is Lena Taylor.
And Bruce Rosenberger of the Comic Geek Speak Radio Network, coming to you live from the fabulous Golden Eagle Comic Store in beautiful downtown Reading, Pennsylvania.
Don't touch that dial.
Tonight, the room is buzzing with excitement for this very special show, full of surprises, special guests, and thrills and spills galore.
So, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because this is Comic Geek Speak.
Episode 100!
I don't even know what to do. I can't play the music. The music will go in post, because we're doing some fancy thing here.
We're all sexy bitches, yeah!
Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm Brian Deemer.
I'm Peter Rios.
I'm Kevin Moyer. I'm Matt. I'm Shane Kelly.
And last but not least, I'm Jamie D.
And you guys are all our fantastic listeners who have come from as far as Ohio and California and Connecticut and Denver, PA.
This is all the listeners? Is that it?
Yeah, that's right. Our audience is tremendous. Please advertise. We have 17 people here who will buy anything you say.
We are waiting for a Baltimore crowd, so hopefully they show up midstream. That'll be nice.
Yeah. So, what's our agenda?
We want to start off and introduce Lem Fosnot and talk about Golden Eagle a little bit. He was so kind to let us podcast from his store. We're here in the Fairground Square Mall, Reading, PA. And, I mean, I guess I'm a little biased, but, it's a fabulous store. And Lem is a fabulous owner. And we, somebody mentioned it earlier while we were just walking around and talking, and none of us would be here if it wasn't for this store and Lem in general. I mean, this is the friendships that grew out of this store and the many hours spent here and just talking and yapping. And, you guys got a small taste of what we've been doing for years. So I think the first thing we want to do is first thank Lem for allowing this and just for being such a great guy. So thank you, Lem. And we would actually like you to come up to a mic and actually talk a little bit.
Give him the mic on the table.
Oh, well, it bounces around, though.
Yeah, it might make it
better if he stands there.
Do you mind standing there? Or do you want to sit here? Why don't you sit here? I'm going to give up my seat. You don't need it. Just talk right into that thing. Fire away.
You won't need
it.
You
don't need it.
He wants to look the part, though.
Yeah.
Let him get the feel.
It's continuity.
They called me Moses a bit ago. I wasn't sure how I should handle that.
So you just got to talk really close. So, Lem, we always ask everyone this question. When did you first start reading comics?
Oh, wow. I probably started reading at about age 10 that I could thoroughly enjoy the books. I was graphically, attracted to them, visually, probably at the age of 9. Probably by the time I was about 1961, 62.
So you got in right as the Marvel thing started?
Well, I was more into DC comics. I enjoyed DC initially, and it was a lot of peer pressure and friends that kind of pulled me into the Marvel realm, probably in the mid-60s.
And what was your favorite DC book?
Favorite DC book at the time was JLA and Flash, almost like a tie. Really appreciated both those titles. But then later on in Marvel, I really enjoyed the Tales of Suspense initially and a lot of the Fantastic Four early issues.
Jamie, you look like you have a question.
Yeah, you told me a story about one of those stories I always wish had happened to me about was it an uncle who gave you an entire old chest full of old comics?
My father had a friend whose son was in the Army during the 50s. And in the early 60s, he brought 2 footlockers of comics over to our home. And my dad at the time wasn't sure if we should take them or not. But as children, we just clamored at these things. And we were reaching into the footlockers, and next thing you know it, we had,
two big, large Foot Lockers in the House of Comics, and we used to sit outside on the pump bed for our spring and well water that we had at home, and I'd sit out there on a Saturday morning and read books with my neighbor. So it was pretty exciting back then. It was a young age that I was influenced by them.
So, go ahead, Jim.
I was just going to say, what made you turn your love of comics into a business?
Actually, I was bowling one night, and a gentleman had a store that he wanted to rent, and he was egging me on to it, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it at the time. My love for comics was a passion at the time as a hobby, and I wasn't sure I wanted to turn it into a business, but with his prodding and his encouragement, I should say, I decided to open a shop on the corner of 5th and Spring Street in Reading, Pennsylvania. And that was 20 years ago.
Did you start with cards right away, too?
No, that was something that eventually, because of the market changes, we diversified into other product. And that basically is why I feel as though we've stood the test of time.
Absolutely.
At what point did you stop? I'm assuming you stopped collecting comics once the business started going. At what point was it really that you completely stopped, realizing that you had to separate the two?
They're called children. At that point in time, my wife and I, after being with the store for about a year and I had a full-time job, had made some decisions to cross the bridge that it is a business and a storefront, and to equate it as such, and made that jump after about a year. Worst interview ever.
Microphone.
Now, Lem, we always come and hang out at your store. How did you always just never mind that? Like we're always in the way.
No, but that's the thing that we were discussing earlier. It's not about visiting your local comic store or being there just as a client. I feel it's the relationship you build up and you cultivate and you plant seeds with new relationships of various time factors involved. I've seen families that, guys that came in 20 years ago that now have children that are 6 and 7 years old and enjoy comics and look at comics and are part of their father's or their mother's experience. And the whole bottom line for me is relationships. It feels as though you're part of the family of not just comics or sports, cards for that matter, but part of the family with a community sense of being and the feel for that.
I can certainly attest to that. You play with my kids every time we come in.
And where do you feel? What are your strengths? Like you talked about the cards, but why else do you think? Is it just because of the following that you've had over the years? I mean, look at everybody here at this table. We've always followed you, no matter if you're at the 5th Street store, if you're at Penn Street store. All the different places you were here in Fairgrounds. Why do you think it's still it is where it is today? Because there's a lot of talk of the business shrinks as the years go on.
Absolutely.
So just if there's anything more.
I think the strengths lie in the longevity of being in business for 20 years. You see a lot of changes. A lot of the changes positively. The biggest change that I see is the maturity of the collector or the hobbyist. They know what they're looking for. They know how to go about obtaining it. They just have to, what I say, go on the fox hunt. They have to go to where they can know that they can feel comfortable with, deal with that individual, whether it be online or whether it be in a store or whether it be in their local flea market, whether it be the next door neighbor that's selling their grandpa's comics. If they have the know-how, as I say it and call it, it's the maturity level of the collector today is a big change. But I still go back to feeling as part of family. And I can testify to that because a couple years ago I was in the hospital for a little over 20 days. And I know in my heart of hearts I had cards sent to me. I had prayers said for me. The people were so good and outgoing to my wife. What can they do for her? How can they help her? I had a great manager at the time that broke his back for us. And I put a lot of faith and trust into my employees at that time. And I think in all, we became even a closer-knit group. And I think I can actually and honestly call it family.
Who's your favorite employee?
Oh, no. That's like asking the captain of a pirate ship who his favorite mate is. You know, I'm not about to get out in the gangplank in that respect. I've had great employees, great college students that have given of their time. As witness to the right of me, I've had great long-standing customers that had worked for me and are still frequenting the store. And it's just their loyalty to the store, to the hobby. And overall, they've created a lot of friendships within the store, too. As I look down the panel, I would have to say a lot of the relationships on this panel came from this store or friends from this store.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, every single one. Primarily, absolutely. Yeah.
Lem, I remember while I was working here, one year for Christmas, instead of just giving us, a Christmas bonus or whatever, you got us all tickets. We went. We loaded in your van. You had hoagies for us. We drove down to Atlantic City. We did some gambling, and then we saw the Smothers Brothers. And who opened?
Alan King.
Alan King. And it was just a fantastic evening. And then, we drove back, and, you did that all on your dime, which was, probably cost way more than giving us just a simple Christmas bonus or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, and this is a part-time job at the mall for the comic book store. I don't get this at my job now, or, and
that's for sure.
So that's the kind of thing that, made us enjoy the store all the more,
That was in the best of times.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, my 90s glory days.
Yeah.
We had a great time, though. He's right.
My favorite part of that story, Brian, though, is the fact that you were not old enough to get in to gamble.
I was
actually.
20. Yeah.
But he went in. That was the whole thing. And the entire time he's like all nervous, looking around, putting a quarter in.
No. I never touched the machine. What I did was I gave $20 to Shauna.
That's my sister.
To Jamie's sister. And she got a roll of quarters. And I walked around behind Sean and said, "All right, put 2 in this time. All right, let's move over to this machine." And you know what? I made like $25, and I came out of the evening $5 ahead. It was great. So that was my first experience at a casino. Was with the Golden Eagle Christmas party.
Teaching them young, degenerate gambling. That's.
And then the other best story I have from working was when we were when we were next to the arcade. And it was some Saturday or Sunday, and Lem was just in a mood. He was fired up. And when we opened the store, like 10 a.m., he loves Queen. He's a huge Queen fan, and so am I. So he goes in, and he cranks the stereo all the way up with Tie Your Mother Down, like max volume. And you can hear it. It's echoing through the mall. All the stores across from us are looking like, what the hell is going on? And there's Lem and I rocking out to Tie Your Mother Down, first thing Saturday morning.
He's embarrassing me now.
What a great way to open the store.
Yeah, that's right.
Great start to a day.
Yep.
Now, Len, with being in the industry as a retailer for as long as you have, I mean, you're on your 20th year, and as a retailer, and your perspective on that, is the industry comparative when you started to now? Is it more friendly to the retailers or less friendly to the retailers? And what do you feel about the industry itself and its strength compared to when you started?
That's a very good question, Kevin. The strengths of the industry, as I see it now, are the horses that have pulled the wagon for so many years. And that goes along with saying your artists, your writers, who had the best of times and maybe went through some hard times and now are back on track again. And the strengths of the industry, as I see it, is I think it's gained more support and more acceptance from the media. I think it's become a cross-generation strength. It hasn't been just a small amount of collectors. It has gone now from the 6-year-old that comes in and wants to pick up a copy of Teen Titans Go because they're seeing it on television, from the 66-year-old who wants to recapture his days and wants to buy the All-Star Comics hardcovers and the old material that all the companies are offering. But I still think the strength today, going to a stronger area, there's such a diversification in product, compared to what it was 20 years ago even. There's more mature reading titles, there are more children books, and I hope to see that even branch out even further.
Yeah. Yeah, we need the commentary for those at home who can't see. We're all nodding in agreement.
Yeah. Tell them how they missed out on the 20%.
Yeah, anybody who didn't show up, Lem offered 20% off anything today. So,
and free sodas.
Yeah, and free sodas. And chips. He bought chips, too. And peanut M&Ms.
Snackies, yeah.
See, you're the same old guy, Lem.
Well, change is good, but sometimes you don't change. If people have treated you well and you've been blessed, you stay what's been working. And I just thank God for everything that He's given me, friends, relationships, my wife, good children, and we've had good times.
I think that what added to your longevity as a retailer as well is, from my experience, I remember, back on the Fifth Street store, and you used to go in and buy back issues or whatever you would have as far as comics, and you'd be ringing them up and be like, $2, I'll give you that one free. $3, I'll give you that one free. And I remembered getting a lot of my runs from you. I remember my Daredevil run I completed because of you. I needed like issue 1 and 2 and like 12 to 55, and you bought a collection. You pulled those issues out for me and sold them to me for a great price. And how can you go wrong? I mean, I kept coming back and I kept buying more because of that. And that really has worked out as far as, and that just goes to show the level of generosity and how you were aware of keeping clients and obtaining more, customers and keeping them happy and keep them coming back for more. And
thank you, Kevin.
I really appreciated that as a collector, and that's what kept me, part of the store for as long as I was. So
when that filters down to all your employees too, because there are things that I either wouldn't think to order or put on my subscription or wouldn't think that I would like, but John or Jamie or Scott would think, oh well, Shane might like this and stick it in my box, and 99% of the time you were right, and it shows. It's a big help.
We talk
Thank
about,
you.
We talk about who has worked for you on this panel, and actually, I can say I did work for you, because there for a couple of times it was like he was like. It was almost like a sweatshop. He would take the I'm kidding you, but all the younger me and Matt and Rob and Jeremy, my old friends from junior high and high school, we used to what was the new comics shop? The new comics day, Thursday, Friday, I forget.
At that Friday, then it went to Saturday.
Yeah, we used to come down early morning and just like pick the books, pull the subscriptions, and then he would give us a poster or some free books as he was ringing us up, and we loved it. I walked, 6, 7, 8 blocks. I lived at that time that close to the Fifth Street store, and I was there. I wanted to do it, and we all dreaded getting Bob Bollinger's poster. This guy bought everything on the rack. I mean, literally, and you could not mess up.
He still does.
Bob, I hope you're not listening.
They say Bob still does. He's still a customer here, and he still does buy everything.
So even that was I can remember that. So I am technically an employee of
To
you.
shed some light on the comic geeks, though, these are fellas that if we were moving from one store to another one, they wanted to be part of it.
Oh,
they said,
"What can
we do? What can we do to help you, Lem?" And they became my, trans world freight movers. They would come in, they'd haul the stuff, they'd back the trucks up, fill the pickups up, fill the rental vans, and we'd be off to another store. What can we do to help you set up, clean up? And they basically would help build my store for me. And they gave me a lot of input, and I grew from that as well. So when he calls it a sweatshop, maybe we should, that was part of the sweating going on. They'd help me move a lot.
I remember there was a time you got a decent. You had a very nice collection that came in, and it was the Sunday before, I guess you put it out, or I guess you were putting it out that Monday. The Sterling collection.
Yeah.
And it was nice that you pretty much closed after the store closed. You had pretty much the people that really came in there a lot, from what I could understand. And we got our first pick of who wanted the things from that collection first before the general public could get it. And that was one of the things I appreciated, because I know I pulled a lot of good stuff out of there. And you had food and drinks, and it was it was a good time.
It was a subscriber only sale, and if you were a subscriber, you got an invitation. And this was an amazing collection. I mean, there's still some of it. If you look on the wall, and I'm pointing, nobody can see me do it, but on the wall of this comic store, as for everybody here who looks at it, there's still some amazing books, gorgeous books. And you're right, Lem gave his loyal customers a chance to buy those before, and that's just the kind of guy he is. I just want to thank you, Lem. I mean, a lot of people don't know, and I don't want to get all emotional, but he kind of picked me up at a time when I became an employee here that I was kind of low, and I'll never ever be able to thank you for what you did. I know.
The thanks come in just being part of when we go through changes.
Yeah.
We all have those times when we feel as though we're on the mountain. There's times that we feel as though we're in the valley, and we need somebody to help. And if we can be an encourager or somebody to help go through a period of time in their life that is a trial, and we all go through them. I talked about earlier one trial that I went through a couple years back, and without the support and prayer and everybody else, I would not probably be here today. But to show my thanks too, I have a special thing for the Comic Geeks guys. And Scott, if you could help me out here. What I'd like to do is honor you fellas with a birthday cake.
Sweet.
Nice. Oh, it definitely will be sweet. So if we could all take the time and sing, when we get to the happy birthday parts, just say happy birthday, Comic Geeks. All right? And that cake will be yours to cut up and decide who gets some of it. So let's go get all together now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Comic Geeks. Happy birthday to you. Let's give them a round of applause.
Set that down at the right spot.
Thank you so much, Lem.
Yeah, thank you. Very well appreciated.
No, stay there. What we're going to do is we want to invite the audience up and just to say hello, say your name, where you're from, and what I'd like to do is have you guys actually talk about what you got, because I'm curious to know what you bought, and just your impressions of the store. He would really like to hear what your impressions are of this store compared to other stores you've seen in the area, and we're biased. Of course we're gonna say good things, but you guys, this is the first time you're here, so. We can just, whoever wants to. You don't have to, but if as many as you of you who want to, great, come on up and speak right into the mic.
Should we have them, when they say their name, also give their name on the form so that way people can help identify?
And if you have a way to better the store, please.
You want to start right here since you got the stuff?
Put them right in the spotlight.
Right into the mic.
Hey, it's Vince B. I bought a bunch of Legion back issues. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. This is the Giffen beer bum. Beer bum?
Beer bomb.
Beer bum.
Yeah, beer bomb. And where are you from, Vince?
Dunmore, Pennsylvania. Not too far away. Marty and I walked into this store, and it was like, we don't have anything like this back home. We have this little hole-in-the-wall, nice store, but this is like a palace compared to what we have. The only thing I would do to improve this is get a couple cots set up in the back, maybe a little porta potty, and other than that, I mean, this place is great. And from I met you for the first time today, and I could tell if I would be in the same boat as these guys. If I ever came down here and just your personality, I'd never want to leave. Just it's an amazing place, amazing man, and I'm glad to be here. So there you go.
You're a lot lighter than you look on the forum. That's what I heard.
Oh, that's right.
Marty Devine here, Marty DeVoid on the forum, and what I actually did was pick up a couple of issues that I got missed at home at that store. But it's at DMZ and Faro City, and I also got The Escapist. I got the fourth volume. I seem to miss that one someplace. An old Wallywood Mars Patrol, and I got the half issue of Powers. As you can see, that's a Bendis thing. I don't know. A lot of people have problems with that. And I got Black Hawk, the Chaikin run.
Excellent.
It was given a thumbs up by Vince, so I thought it would be pretty good.
It is good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Of course, I came down here with Vince from the Scranton, and we have the little comic shop. It's nice and everything, but look at this place. And the only thing I would do to really get this place any better was, can you move it up the turnpike a bit? But I'm very happy to be here, and congratulations. This is just great. Thank you.
Thank you. Is DMZ, is that ongoing, or is that a miniseries? It's ongoing? I have to get that. Brian Wood, right?
Yeah, add another one to your title.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I'm Ian Levinstein, the anime reporter for Comic Geek Speak. I am Sci-Fi on the boards. And I got Ecstatics Presents Dead Girl #1, and Spider-Woman Origin #2, and Sandman Volume 2, because it took me forever to actually start reading it, but now that I'm halfway through the trade, I need Volume 2. This thing is amazing. And this store is amazing, period. Like, back in New York, there's stores, but nothing nearly as big as this. And also, one thing that I've experienced in a lot of the stores in the Manhattan area, in the Brooklyn area, there's a lot of a disconnect between the buyers and the people who work there. And it's great to see a connection with the people who are purchasing things, a smile on the face of the person who's selling it to you. It's a great thing to see, and as opposed to just handing it to you and you leave. Conversation's a great thing, and that's something I miss out in a lot of the places in the New York area, and I'm glad to see it here.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, Ian.
Sometimes that's what we do best, right?
Yeah.
David Price, just David on the forum from Putnam Valley, New York. I picked up Infinity Crisis 3, 4, and 5, and 2, 3, and 4, and All-Star Batman and Robin 3, and All-Star Superman 1 and 2. Store is great. Layout is amazing. It's brightly lit. Love the way all the books are the way they're put out on display. So not much. Great job. And
He's pointing to Scott.
It's your Scott. It's your fault.
But, glad to be here, and 100 more.
Thanks.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and David registered our domain name for us as a gift. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Who's up next? No? Okay. Want to go up and say a few words? Go ahead.
You have to.
Form a line.
Hey, it's Dan Brunel, Mr. Cal on the forums. I got a Justice League versus tin set thing that has Alex Ross art on it, and the store is great. It's just like a lot cleaner than the one we have at home.
How many frickin' swears would you give it, kid?
5 out of 5.
All right.
Great store.
For anyone who doesn't remember, Danny is the creator of Frecking Swear. So.
Who's next? Come on up. Oh, new face.
My name's Todd Zahner. I don't actually know of the forums. I didn't hear about this until I saw an article published in the Reading paper.
Ah, cool.
Any chance to give this place publicity is worth it. I've been coming here. Sorry. I don't know how close I have to stand to these things.
Eat the mic.
any chance to give this place publicity is worth it. I've been coming here since I was probably like 10 years old, before I even understood the concept of back issues, even knew that I could actually buy comics out of the boxes. I just would like look at them. Oh, they're in this little slipcover thing. What do I do with that? Okay, I'll put it back now. As you can guess, I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania, and today I bought Mr. Miracle, Planetary 24, All-Star Superman number 2, Legion of Superheroes 13, and Batgirl 72. And I didn't buy them today, but around about December I decided I'd get into the Doom Patrol, and I just started buying everything. And a couple weeks ago, actually, before I went, I picked up the archive editions of Volume 1 and 2 and Grant Morrison run, what I could get a hold of. And they've been excellent, and like every time I come in and ask, is there anything like Doom Patrol related, they'll say, well, let's look. And it's a great place. I'm glad to be here and be able to say that this is probably the comic store that I'll always come back to. I'm going to college in Allentown. I have a few comics over at Beachhead, but this is the place I will always come back to. This is where my pull list really is, and this is the place that matters to me. No matter where I go, if I can get back here like at least once a year. If I go to California, I'll try to make a pilgrimage here once a year, and just to be here to see people that I know love comics and love to talk about comics, and I couldn't ask for a better comic shop to have grown up around.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Bill Hughes from Frederick, Maryland, and you may know me as BHughes923 on the forums. And
soon to be just Bill.
Soon to be just Bill. To my eternal shame, in just 4.5 months, I'm second only to Peter in number of posts on the forum. I owe this to being an IT administrator, and no one is watching what I'm doing at work.
That's right.
Now, as to what I purchased today, sitting next to Mr. Cow, I saw his lovely, Versus 10 over there with the Alex Ross artwork. I had to pick one of those up. I got the Crisis on Infinite Earths hardcover and an assortment of Flash issues, Action Comics issues, usually with a 15-cent or 25-cent cover price. You're getting them at like $3 or $5 an issue. When you factor in what you pay for new issues these days, that's a steal. Mike Grell's Sable Freelance. I hadn't even been aware that they had started a new series.
Oh, man. And what issue is that up to by now?
I
Is
don't
it like
know. I
9
just
or
picked up
something?
the first
or?
issue.
It's like 5 or 6.
Oh, okay, 5 or 6.
Fallen Angel #1. After hearing so much on the forums about Marvel Team Up, I got a couple of issues of that.
So you haven't read that yet?
I bought the issue with Invincible in it.
But you hadn't started from the beginning or anything?
No, so
cool.
I picked up a couple of more issues beyond that. As far as the store, anybody who's on the forum knows I'm a mail order guy and have been for a number of years. I go into a comic book store once every 3 or 4 months, and usually just for my daughter, so she can go around. If there was a store like this in my neighborhood, I probably would go to the store instead of mail order. There's nothing like this, and Frederick is only half an hour from D.C. I lived closer to D.C. than that. I would expect an area like that to have more stores like this available, and there just simply aren't. So this is a great store. And if Marty hadn't already said it, I'd be suggesting that you move to Frederick.
Mr. Ohio.
Mr. Buckeye. All right. This is Sean Whalen. I'm Dr. Norge on the forum. As far as your shop, you make me remember what I missed from my local comic shop. My local comic shop closed in the 90s, and it was Comics and Collectibles. It was in Willowick, Ohio. The owner, the only thing I know, his name was Ed, because that was how he greeted anybody who came into the store, which, I mean, that kind of closeness was just wonderful. I wish I still had this in Ohio, because I do miss that interaction. It's actually one of the things that Comic Geek Speak has brought back for me, has been that kind of connection with comics and with other people. So I wouldn't change a thing with the store. If this store was in my neighborhood, I would be coming to it. It's one of those things. It's been great. To my wife at home, I didn't want to buy anything. I tried not to. Ian made me get Ex Machina. I didn't want to purchase this. Peter made me get the full run of Atomica, and Jamie too, because of his reviews. And then I got for my kids at school, so this wasn't for me. It's Walt Disney's World of the Dragon Lords. This is for my kids at school, honey. I'm not going to read this myself. And actually, for you guys, I did get something. And this is actually for you guys, your guests, anybody behind the scenes, Tasha, anybody who has been on the show or a guest. I was in a Border store, and I saw a Simpsons DVD set. And it was right after Peter had posted that you had a 100th episode mini-con coming up that you're going to do. And it was one of the reasons why I wanted to come so bad. On the Simpsons DVD box set, it said, featuring the 100th episode. And I got to thinking about, how many shows in any media format make it to 100 episodes. And look at how much this show has grown in 100 episodes and the things you're doing now. So actually, and Matt, I'm going to give this to you, and let me explain why. I took the graphic from the CGS website. And it was based on the, cartoons that were drawn. You aren't in there. So I do want you to know it is meant for you as well. It's meant for everybody in the cast. And so if you could.
Oh, man. Wow.
Oh, that is cool.
That is cool.
This is a lucite, like a laser etched lucite plaque that has our logo on it and the caricatures and something about 100.
Frickin' heavy.
Sean, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sean. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was very, very generous of you to do that. Wow.
I'd like to thank my agent.
Which is you, right?
Turn the music on,
Yeah, like I'm supposed to follow that.
Okay. What are you going to give us now?
Before you start, I'd like to address something that Sean said. It saddens my heart when a shop closes. And that's coming from a retailer that has seen a lot of shops close. And the reason it saddens my heart is because it's a community thing. It becomes part of the community, and it becomes built into that area. And when a gentleman or a young lady tells me a shop is closed, it's like a piece of me has been torn away, because that means that area no longer accepts the medium for what it represents, for what it is, and what it really, truly deserves to be. And that means a main place in Americana, a mainstay on your corner in your little town, USA. And that's where it started, and that's where it should be. And when a shop closes, it saddens me. When a shop opens, I love to see it because it's just not more competition. It means there's more places for people to go to. And I welcome when a shop does open. It saddens me when a shop closes. And thank you for addressing that.
Okay, last one, I think. I'm Randy Dixon. I'm from Quaker Hill, Connecticut. I'm Jonah on the boards. I don't post all that often because I get pool issues, and you guys got too many spoilers on the boards.
And you have a life, right?
No. Trust me, I don't. I drove 300 miles to get here. How much more life do I have?
By the way, Randy is the winner of our photo contest today. He dressed up, he and his wife, as Legion characters.
I was Ultra Boy, i.e. Jonah.
Yeah.
What I picked up today, old copy of Alter Ego. Jamie, you have done wonders to my pocketbook. I am buying just about everything these days from Tomorrow's Publishing. And I thank you for that. It's actually good stuff. Goes back to my era. On Peter's recommendation, I picked up Starman, Sins of the Father.
Excellent.
I am always looking for new stuff to read. The Sterling collection they have here. Oh, if you're out there and you're within 500 miles, drive here. I picked up Tales of Suspense. Iron Man Captain America's got a beautiful Tesca cover on it. You can't knock it. And then I picked up some childhood memories. Old copy of Justice League, number 98. And then some back issues of Superboy with Legion backup stories. This is some of the old Cockrum stuff from when he started, which is when I just fell in love with the Legion. I've actually got all these copies, but these are much better copies than the ones I have. And a couple more. Oh, a good one. Amazing Adventures with a Beast, back when he was gray.
Yeah.
Wow.
Used to own this. It cost me, 20 cents at the time. And also, an old copy of Avengers, one I don't have. I think this has got Sal, was it Buscema art? That's one thing I like about your forum, is I'm learning how to pronounce names. I never knew how to pronounce before. I mean, it's never been Ramita to me. I don't even know what it was. Millar. But I really thank you guys. I mean, you're doing really something wonderful here. Makes my day. Lim, you got a great shop here. I say, if you're within 500 miles of this place, a day's trip, I mean, it's worth making the trek here. There is just, it's clean, it's family-like. I will probably come back here. It's not that far away.
Wow.
If you need a hand moving, give a yell. Got a truck. Anyway, thank you.
I'm Dan Foster. I'm Gambit on the forums, still pretty new. All the way from over in Denver, pretty close. Yep.
That's our land.
I've only been there about a year, though. That's the only reason this isn't my regular shop yet, because I still work down near Philly, and my shop that I've been going to since I was a kid is there. So this is definitely the biggest shop I've ever been in now. Really nice place. I did just drop about $100 on back issues, too. So, yeah, not much else, just say hello and introduce myself. Thanks, you guys, for all the great episodes, and hope to get some more out of you guys. Thanks.
We plan on staying. Anybody else? I guess that's pretty much. Yeah, Bruce?
Come on.
Now he doesn't talk. He has his own freaking podcast, and now he won't talk.
I'm so embarrassed I didn't pick anything up yet. I'm still looking. Came down for the thing. Wasn't a bad drive. We drove into Jersey and picked up Ian, and David met us there, and picked up my brother on the way back, and came down. So it's Bruce R. on the forums, by the way. And,
of the excellent Comics Cast podcast.
Well, thank you. And I'm just thrilled to be here and be a part of the show.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Bruce.
I'm glad you got off work to come.
Thank you again, Len.
Yeah, thank you so
the
much.
godfather of the Comic Geek Speak podcast.
Yeah. Let's give him a big round of applause, please.
We should also give a shout out to Scott. He's over there watching the store, watching us.
He is?
Yeah.
I just saw 3 minibus go out the front door.
He was watching them go out the front door.
Scott has been on the podcast occasionally, and during our Book of the Month episode, the one episode, Walking Dead, I think you were there, and he's always a pleasure to have on the show. So we want to make sure we give a shout out to him. That's okay.
Yeah, we don't need to rig up an extra mic for him. He just sits quietly in the background.
That was Lena. She doesn't want to come to the mic. We'll get her later.
What's next?
What's next here?
Well, surprisingly, I only received one email, in celebrating or congratulating us on episode 100. It's from Tom Martinek, Mr. Fusion on the board. He says, "Hey guys, I just wanted to send my congratulations on your 100th podcast. You've really come a long way from those early episodes where I kept busting your chops about not being able to hear anyone. I remember when the old forum was 1 page long and I was able to read every thread. Now look at it. 1,970 different topics and over 42,500 posts. Granted, most of them are guys hitting on Little Witch UK. But there are still a hell of a lot of posts. You've created a community where comic geeks can stand together, and what we've found is that as a whole, we're really nice, pleasant, civil people. I think you guys have done more than unite the world's mightiest heroes. You've united the world's greatest comic fans. Looking forward to the next 100. Thanks, Tom."
That was nice.
Awesome. Tom is technically our first listener interview, if you think about it, because our first interview was with Shane Felix of the fan film Star Wars Revelations.
Yeah.
And then the second one was Tom Martinek. So he's technically our first interview with a listener. So that's cool. Cool that he could be a part of this.
I do have to quick say before we go too far. No, just a quick shout out.
Here it comes.
Yeah, we had our from where I work, our corporate holiday party last night, and because we kind of had our own get together last night, I wasn't able to make it, and some of the guys were busting my chops, so they said that if I gave them a quick shout out, that they would let it slide. So to Tally and the Craig, here's your shout out, you chuckleheads. So tug it. And P.S. Journey sucks, and I don't like the group. All right.
And remember, that's Matt saying that.
Oh, you know what? But actually, we should have done this before we started recording. We are planning on going to TGI Fridays after the show. So anybody who wants to come, you're more than welcome. In fact, if we could get a head count now, because Tasha's going to call and make a reservation, because it's going to be a lot of people. So anybody who wants to come.
Baltimore, you went somewhere very...
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, around here, they aren't open on a Sunday, so...
And for the listeners, just call in your orders since you're not able to join us.
Curbside pickup. So who thinks they're going to come? We got what, three? That's it.
4, 5.
For Bruce coming? 5,
Oh,
6.
6.
All right, so 6 or 7 plus us. Lena, you're coming.
Yeah.
And Scott, are you coming?
No, he is that bad.
Okay.
Don't pressure
So
him.
it's,
Come on, Scott.
No, it's probably about 20.
I guess we could say 20 just
Yeah,
to
just
make
say
it safe, and make it for 6 o'clock. That way, it gives us time to get.
Okay.
All right. Next item.
Next item on, we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite. We're going to be selfish. CGS moments. This is for us, and then we're going to open it up to the floor as well. So our top 5 favorite moments. Who wants to go first?
I didn't
do my homework.
Oh.
Jamie, Jamie, do you want to go first?
Captain Caveman down there.
Captain Caveman! Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they all involve me. That's the great thing.
Wait, we got to interrupt. We got to interrupt the shiznit. Here comes Joe Pasco. Yay! Hero boy on the forum. And Christine or Christina? Christina. Where's my Batman cologne?
Did you have traffic problems or get lost or? Oh, I was so worried. I realized, man, I should have given you my cell phone. Oh. Oh boy.
Joe, look what I brought. Yeah, you told me not to bring it. I brought it anyway. I'm talking to you later. No, I'm kidding.
I seriously would not put that on my skin. That's the whole thing. I just wouldn't.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, crime nuts. I'm trying to remember because I didn't write it down, unfortunately. I'm not the kind of writing down kind of guy. Again, they all kind of revolve around me.
My first appearance, my origin.
That's right. Actually, my favorite moment is the first time we got an email from England, and I realized all of a sudden, Jesus, my voice is now recognized by somebody in England. That was just an amazing moment. Just the fact that there was somebody else out there listening, and you're all a testament to that right now. First time anybody called me the Shiznit Pimp. It embarrassed me, but you guys all seem to run with it, so I let you call me it, and now it's kind of taken on a life of its own. And these are in no real particular order. The second that I heard Brian Deemer come across and realize that we are talking to Stan Lee. That was just, I mean, I'd actually spoken to him before at a convention, so it wasn't like the first time, but it was still the fact that, this was an interview that we were doing with Stan Lee. Let's see, that was what, 3?
Jamie didn't do his homework.
Yeah,
apparently.
I was going to say, well, I was sleeping.
Line? Where's the script?
If somebody else wants to jump in, go ahead, because like I said, I cannot remember my
I got
list.
my 5.
Okay.
I got my 5. When we took, it was actually kind of off the air, but sort of on the air. When we took our tour of Palisades office down in Baltimore, that was very cool because we were there and they treated us really well, and it was almost like we were industry insiders, kind of. It felt like that, and it was very cool. And then talking to Mike Horn in his office and everything, so that was cool. When we broke the Wizard World Atlanta story with Gareb Shamus, when his publicist told us that we were beating the New York Times to that story, that was cool. That's when I think Peter and I kind of. Why is the laptop's about to crash here?
What the heck? Professionalism right out the window.
I guess it helps if I turn the power supply on.
Now I'm hearing like a hell of a hum.
Yeah, me too.
And it's not because you like me.
Oh boy.
Get out the quarter jar.
Why is that beeping?
Test.
I think that's the bomb that I planted in the laptop.
This message will now self-destruct in 5 seconds.
It's amazing how after 100
getting
episodes,
that
we still
feedback?
can't get past the technical difficulties.
As soon as I plug
What
in
else
the
is new?
laptop. now we got-
All we need is the dogs running by right at this moment.
Oh well, I guess
Yeah,
we'll
we're
have
gonna
to
to
deal
live
with
with
the
it.
hum.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. The Wizard World. Okay. The entire interview with Gene Colan was awesome because he was just such a nice guy and he appreciated it, and I learned a lot, and I just got even more respect for his work after talking to him. So that whole entire thing was great for me. Paul Pope giving that lady $20 on the street in the middle, that was a great moment because no one was expecting that. And like, as Jamie already said, when Stan Lee said my name, that was about as cool as it gets, and I have it recorded for all time. So that's cool.
All right, I'll go. Peter versus Scrooge McDuck. That just made me laugh. I'm going to single out Brian's rant on Lisa Schwartzbaum, but just about any rant Brian goes on is pretty good and entertaining. All the fans, all of you guys, everybody that listens to us, everybody that sends emails or does anything for us, it's just amazing. Never in a million years did I ever think that after 100 episodes I would still be here and you guys would drive hundreds of miles to come see us. I could say Stan Lee because it was truly cool, but I will go with just about any interview we've ever done. Again, I never thought I would talk to any of these people ever past like, hi, how you doing, thanks, as they sign a book or something. And becoming a comic strip, I would have to say is one of my all-time geek out moments. I show my kids and my oldest now goes, "Oh, look, Daddy, that's you on that." Yes, that's me on the comic strip, and I just absolutely love it. So that's my 5.
You guys still thinking over there?
I got my other two. I got my other two. I remembered them now. Again, I'm losing my mind with my hair. It was speaking, and actually, it was the one interview we've done with an actual person in the room, and that was Peter David. When Brian and I got to speak to Peter David in San Diego, that was just amazing. And then, I mean, I've told the story of then to have him while we're interviewing him, have Max Allen Collins come up to him and start talking to him, and you realize, just amazing. And I have to say, the opening that Peter and Lena did to episode 50 is still, I mean, as far as a actual moment in the show, I thought that was amazing, and it still makes me laugh when I hear it.
Cool.
Well,
I call that behind the geeks.
Yeah. I have to. I mean, you can't deny. For me, Stan Lee was one of my top moments. That's something I never even fathomed that would even happen in the show, yet alone as early as it did. That's just something that I didn't feel on any level that we would ever accomplish something like that. To me, being a cartoon creation too was just out of this world. To me, that's something that I still look back and look at him and yeah, that's me. I loved the Gene Colan interview. To me, that is our top interview as far as I'm concerned. I felt the energy that came through that interview and the people that responded and how they responded and the way he responded to me was my all-time favorite interview up to this point. And that's something to say for the people that we've interviewed, because the Joe Kubert interview and all the other ones that we've done have all been great interviews. So to pick one out is hard to do, but that one to me stands out on its own as far as for what the content and what transpired from that interview. And the opening issue, episode 50, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time, except for watching 40-Year-Old Virgin just recently. But and the other thing as far is the forum itself, and I have to kind of umbrella that because it's not only the community it has created. It's the camaraderie between everybody on the forum and the respect and the appreciation that we have for each other's likes, dislikes, opinions, everything like that. But it also now is encompassed into having creators involved and posting their artwork and adding their aspect of it as well. So that in itself, I think, is a highlight of CGS, and I really respect and appreciate that. So there's mine.
I'd have to say, again, in no particular order, but the episode that for some reason we broke into political discussion is just, for some reason, we really didn't have a topic, and it's just something that came up along the way, and I have no idea why, but I just thought it was interesting. My cousin Adam Murdo, when his first time on the show where he gave you the massacre, Peter, on the Stump the Rios.
I almost wrote that down.
Where, just pulling those questions out of his head, no reference material or anything, just on the spot, and to see you cower under that was impressive.
Wait a minute, I got some of those questions.
Yeah, but yeah. Denny O'Neil interview, I thought that was pretty interesting, especially when we were one of the few people that interviewed him that didn't really bring up a death in the family. You know, after a while, I'm assuming some of these people get tired of hearing the same kind of questions over and over. What I like to call our foulest episode, and because we had chicks and cocks, because it was the one with Lena and Tasha and Catherine and the rest of us. So I enjoyed that episode. And then I'd have to say also the San Diego review episode, just because it was about 5 of us in the room, or I would say maybe 6, but only 3 of us actually went to the convention. So the rest of us, just the whole episode, you know, we had nothing to do. So
I didn't go to San Diego.
Did you hear me complaining? It was a pretty good episode. We just got to sit there and just watch you guys reminisce.
You got to kick back and relax.
Yeah, kick back and relax. So that's my list.
All right. For mine, is also one of them is also the Gareb Sheamus interview. For what he gave to us, he was like, I never thought I would go back to that, but then like as the show kept progressing and as we kept growing, we always go back to that interview. And one thing he said was, "It's all stepping stones. It's all small stepping stones to the next thing and to the next thing." And I swear that's like always in the back of my mind. It's like my mantra.
We
now.
say it to each other like once a week.
Yeah. Every time we get the next thing and the next thing, and so that one really stands out for me. The cartoon episode, episode 20, but topping it off, the whole Freddie Mercury thing, and I know Jamie's going to be right behind me on this one. Just the whole, I don't know where it all came from. If you haven't listened to it, you got to listen to it, but it's near the end of the episode. It's just, every time I listen to it, it cracks me up. I love the Walking Dead Book of the Month episode, just because of the topic, and I think it was one of the first Book of the Month episodes that really, you know, that's what that episode needed. That's what those episodes should be like, you know, really getting into the book, and also because of that was a suggestion from the listeners. That was like we took that right from them, and we all pretty much loved it. You know, and we were like, "Wow, this is great." So that one I really enjoy that one.
Plus, I think it was the first time we really had a difference of opinion on them. We weren't all just, you know, "Oh, this is great, this is great, this is great."
The Joe Kubert interview, I think, for us, is one of our finest interviews. I can remember after we were done thinking, wow, we were really on for that one. And that one just stands out. As far as interviews go, that one really stands out for me. And then the last one is probably going to, I put it down even though we're not done yet, but it's episode 100. This is going to be, I think this is going to cap off the first 100 episodes for me. So
That's everybody's list, right?
Yep.
I have to say one more thing. We thanked Lem for being more or less our godfather, grandfather, for getting us all together. And I want to thank Brian and Peter, because we do this all the time, sitting around talking. in our homes get together every now and then for a game night or whatever. But without Brian and Peter, we wouldn't be sitting here doing this. And I really, really want to thank and appreciate you guys.
I think we'd be here. They would just be throwing us out because nobody would have any idea what we were doing.
That's right.
Will you please leave?
So, anybody want to come up to the mic and say a favorite moment or two from the show?
Howdy. Scott Brunel, Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm not on the forums, actually, but I am father of Mr. Cow. So, obviously, my wife and I never laughed so hard as to the episode where you read his email that started out with the Who's the Better Green Lantern, which we all know is Hal, not Kyle. And it became the whole freckin' schweer. I mean, we still to this day laugh at that, so I appreciate you guys focusing on that. And, of course, the years of private school education that we've done for our son just makes us so proud. That's what we get. But thanks again.
While we're on that
subject,
Danny,
come on up.
Come on up to the mic.
Danny, we created something for you as a thank you for creating Frecking Swear and how much it's become part of our mantra. So here's a little plaque. The 2005 Frecking Swear Award. This will be an annual thing.
Speech.
I don't really know what to say.
Say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah.
I'm going to give him the rest of his speech.
Thank the Academy and
thank God. And
thank you.
Thank your parents for without them, you would not be here.
And Hal Jordan.
Right, we just did a speech for him.
Kyle is better than Hal.
We'll grab a picture of that and post it on the forum so everyone can see it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for that.
Thank you. Yep.
We'll never forget it. All right, so we want to open up to the floor. Favorite moments of CGS. We're being vain right now. So. Yeah, whatever.
Hey, it's Ian again. I would have to say one of my favorites, getting in touch with Mario. Just because of how many different voicemail moments that occurred in that was absolutely fantastic, and you had me floored each and every time. It was just a new segment to the show without even realizing it, and that was just great. And also the Joe Kubert interview for me, probably in my opinion one of the best interviews you guys have ever done, and you guys showed class, and you did a great job. That's basically it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Matt wasn't there for that episode, was he?
No.
That's probably why it was so professional.
That's what I was going for.
Oh, here comes Bruce.
Hey, it's Bruce R. again. Probably, obviously, getting to be a guest on the show and being live in the studio, and it, like you said before, these guys, you walk in the house, they're talking comics. You go into the studio, they're talking comics. It quiets down for a second, the show comes on, you talk comics. The show gets over, you talk comics. It's incredible. It's a whole lot of fun. Show-wise, my favorite show, I started listening with number 9, but my favorite show is still number 12 with the Crusaders story. That whole story of how you guys made the video, and I've listened to that like 3 times, and it just makes me laugh. I mean, not laugh. I feel bad, but I.
We accept your pity. Thank you.
I kind of remember those days of making films and thinking, oh yeah, we're going to go to the next level, and
yeah,
they're called snuff.
Yeah, we.
Quarter.
Get it in there.
The episodes with interviews, when you first started doing interviews, I didn't think I was going to like. I didn't think I was going to like it. I really thought that, oh no, you're getting away from the guys hanging around the comic shop talking about comics. But some of those interviews have just been incredible. Stan Lee, Gene Colan, Denny O'Neil, all the old folks that you just don't get to hear. You get to hear the interviews with the new guys, that are doing new stuff. But the old guys are just so much fun to listen to. Maybe it's because I grew up with that stuff. I don't know. But so yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Okay, don't want too much open mic time here. A couple of them. I love the Book of the Month Club. I mean, one of the ones that really hooked me was that Walking Dead. I think it was the first one you did, and you all talked great about it. It was like, okay, you have an interest in something here, and you're really drawing me in. I like this a lot. You don't get that much outside of a comic book shop. I mean, you really have to go someplace to look for people who are interested in those things. I love the rant that Jamie had about the death of the Blue Beetle. I thought that was great. Didn't agree with it, by the way, but I thought it was great. I think another one of the ones I really liked was where you all named your top artist as far as what book they were associated with. That was probably the one time I regretted it not being a real live radio show, because I wanted to call in and disagree with so many of them.
Well, now's your chance.
Well, it's from I'm from a different generation than most of you, other than Jamie, probably. I mean, you were naming artists like, who the hell is that? Yeah, I've never even heard of this artist. I didn't hear some of the classic names. I never heard John Buscema's name mentioned once. And for my generation, he was the artist. I mean, he was the guy you wanted on your book. He was the Avengers to me. And I forget who you named. I didn't hear anybody named John Buscema.
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember who I did name. I was thinking. Actually, I did. I thought it was Buscema and
we brought
Tom
that up
Farmer.
because we talked about him and Sal. I thought we mentioned that. At least
I
gave
heard-
him recognition.
I remember giving recognition, but you never named the artist. And I think you dissed Dave Cockrum on X-Men. That hurt me bad.
Yes, I honestly I can't stand those X-Men.
Thunderdome. No, but here's the thing, though. I actually agreed with you after I looked at it, because Dave Cockrum on X-Men wasn't that good. He was a Legion artist. That's where he should have stayed. Anyway, and this is pretty cool. I mean, it's really nice to know I'm not the only freak out there.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else? Go ahead. Yeah. This is your show.
It's Vince B. I think Shane's Muppet Rainbow Connection tribute benefit episode really showed me that up until then it was mostly about comics, and anybody could talk that, but that episode kind of pushed it home to me that you guys were more than just in it for yourselves, that you wanted to actually use this to help other people, and that really, I may have flipped the bird in my picture on the forum, but I have a little bit of a heart, and that was one of the better ones. Matt's exclamation of blank guzzling bastards, I've adopted that into my vocabulary. Just to hear Gene Colan, the emotion in his voice when you guys told him what you felt about his art, and for me to just try and understand that a man with that much talent didn't already know that he was reaching all these people, and that was great. But I think the most memorable episode for me is the worst one. That would be the Animal Man Book of the Month Club, where I looked across the room at that freak after I heard garbage and crap come out of two of the mouths, and I said, what the? Like anybody could not love this piece of work, and Peter was the lone warrior in that, for me anyway. But you kind of redeemed yourself with me today when I heard you talk to Lem. You big old softy. And,
yeah, I know.
That was great. So you're okay. You're not.
You and Kirkman, as far as
I was going to say, between Vince B and Kirkman, man, you're losing an audience, Brian.
Yeah, and your Moon Knight thing was pretty cool. Although I don't like the character, it's okay. But just the way you tacked that was awesome. You guys are the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll make it up to you at some point.
No, you won't.
I want to. I actually want to. Read volume 2. I want to read the whole thing. I just didn't like that coyote issue. That's all.
Now, I just had to come up here and say the Animal Man episode was actually one of the best episodes. For the reasons it says it's the worst. That's why I thought it was the best. Because so many people read the same material and looked at it in such a completely different fashion. And we got to see, in the mind of Brian Deemer, he has to see it written on the page, and who can see the subtext and all that. That's what made it a great episode for me. And what it turned around into the forum, 10 pages of discussion on spawning religious threads, and is Superman supposed to be Jesus, and all these other commentary that we got out of that. That was great. And as everybody else has already said, the Gene Colan episode was one of the best ever, just because of what it meant to him, and it really came across in the episode. it actually choked me up driving down the road. I might have been one of the times I got lost driving to work.
Hey, Vince, you said Gene Colan? Ah. Right, Colan, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's another quarter to add to the thing.
Quarter, that's like $500.
Did he say it on the episode?
I thought he did. Well, no, we did. I don't know.
What? Because we didn't we talk to did John Morrow say his name? Maybe I was pretty sure.
I was pretty sure Marv Wolfman said it.
Yeah,
He said colon.
Yeah, that's.
We'll have to call him up.
Well, we'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you might owe us a quarter.
It's Dan Foster. My favorite's probably the best inadvertent segment that keeps the recurring is how excited you guys get every time you make a call me and talk to the girlfriends or the wives. You guys just start cracking up, and it's infectious, and you have the same questions every time, and you can hear them just like, who the hell are these guys? I gotta get off the phone. That and when you guys call the whoever the Grant Morrison fan is, the guy in UK, that just rambles on a mile a minute, and I agree with him, but he's too funny. He's great, and I think when I first time I heard you guys mention that you're going to be like recording live here, I'm like, that's right around the corner for me. I had just moved up here, so it was pretty exciting to be able to I don't have to drive that far. I'm right around the corner, so that's pretty cool.
Cool. Anyone else? Come on. Somebody else? Oh, okay. This is fun. I like this. We're just sitting back, chilling, and just letting them talk.
It's Marty here again. I have to say, it's the Animal Man episode. Vince and I work in the same office, and we're back to back, and all I can hear is, "Are you listening to this shit?" I can't be. He's throwing headphones. Yeah, there you go. He's throwing headphones and everything. But really, that one episode is pretty much the entire show in a microcosm of everything. I mean, laughed at it, got mad at it, everything in there. It was like Thunderdome, like you said. It really was. And my most favorite part of it is your Morrison expert when he said, well, does somebody there not like the Coyote Gospel? And he said, well, yeah, I do. And all that noise he makes is like, it's probably the one episode I've listened to the most, you know. So I'd have to say that's my favorite moment. But I think you should have brought dogs here today. I mean, that's one thing I miss. But that's my favorite episode.
Cool. Thank you. Take your time, Sean.
That actually brings me to one of my favorite ones.
You can beat him with that.
When I did my
Mid
Ohio report, I had no clue what was like. Obviously, I felt terrible about the fact that poor Brian had to sit through my phone privacy manager at that point. But to listen to the episode afterwards, I was absolutely dying. I listened to it with my wife, and I had no clue that any of that actually went down. I mean, obviously, you've got to do something to fill in the time. So I'm like all cool. I'm like, you got to listen to me on the show and all that stuff. It starts off with you two cracking on me, which was an absolute riot. She's like, oh, yeah, Mr. Suave, which was great. I mean, I loved every minute of that. Animal Man, and not just Animal Man, I'll tie in Off the Rack, any of the Book of the Month Club. Anytime you talk about a book, Animal Man sticks out for me because I think it was the first time I started thinking about, these guys are being brutally honest. They're not telling me what I want to hear, which is what I don't want from a review. I get that from a number of magazines where they're, either telling me or the publisher, I think, what they want to hear. And I don't want that from my reviews. I want to know how you really feel about it. Obviously, when I sent in my Animal Man Book of the Month Club, I was thinking, oh, geez, everybody's going to love this because I did. I loved the fact that people didn't because you were being honest about it and you gave really valid points as to why you felt it wasn't for you. And that, to me, is cool. The episodes with the colorists. And shame on me for not remembering all the names. I remember Maury Hollowell, but I'm not going to go through the list because I just don't remember, and that's my own fault for not being aware of who these guys are. And letterers, same things. Inkers, I think I have the same problem. There's probably a ton of people I'm leaving out that make comics that we really should be paying attention to because it is the whole package. And that, to me, you guys opening that up has been a key to me in helping me enjoy comics more. I do pay attention to the colors now. I still have no clue who's doing them, and that's because since I was a kid, I've paid attention to writers and pencilers. That's where my expertise is right now. I need to learn who these people are because they do help me enjoy my comics, and thank you for bringing that to light. And, you know, the forum, obviously because of many of the people sitting here, has just been a great place. I love when we get in debates with each other. People will jump in and try to mediate. And even if it ends up being that you agree to disagree when you get to the end, you do wind up seeing everybody's intentions, that we all have different opinions about a book. And that's okay. But it is one of the best communities. It's the only forum that I participate in regularly, mainly because of the fact that it's worth participating in. And I do think that there's a big difference. I've been on so many of them where people just come on to bash people, and it's become like a hobby. People come to your forum to talk. And that, to me, that's what I want from a forum. I want to hear people talking. I want to hear people communicating. I want to hear people who are honest. So that's been it. So thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I will say one thing about the show that had, for me at least, has been the appreciation I've come to have for colorists. Again, when we first started, I was like, oh yeah, he slaps red on here, he slaps green on here, but especially after we did the Chris Soderbergh episode, Sotomayor, Meyerberg. I didn't mispronounce his name. I screwed it up.
Well, hello.
I gave him a new name. I'll put it in. But when he posted that page of Defender's artwork on the forum, and then he posted what he did to it, it was like, man, oh man, you have got to get paid more money because you are doing something for that book that you are definitely as important as the artist is to this book, and just. That is one thing that I have come to appreciate through this show.
Yeah, same here. I've said it before. I never paid attention to colors, letters, all that much, and it's just incredible the knowledge that I've gained by just doing the show and learning who these people are and what they actually do.
Anybody else have something they want to throw out there? Oh. Go ahead.
David again. Keeping with the selfish theme, the first time you read one of my emails when I kind of went off on why nobody mentions inkers when they talk about artists or art teams. Thank you for getting me into Back Issue Magazine. And I've now started resubscribing to CBG. And probably my favorite moment so far that I vividly recall is the recap of episode 50, where Brian asked Jamie a question. Jamie's making faces, and all you hear is Matt say he wants you to steal third. That still kills me. That's probably the one thing that stands out, but there are too many to even mention. And I want to echo Sean's sentiments on the forum as well.
Thank you. Brian is coming up. I like Brian very much.
Brian Rosenberger here. I'm Bruce's brother, and the thing I liked about it is, like, I have a lot of comic, see, I knew this is why I didn't want to come up. The podcast, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I have 3 favorite ones, which is my brother is but I'm a little biased because of him. And I read comics and Comic Geek Speak, and then when my brother was on, that was pretty cool. And then when I heard Lena on, when she was on, that was cool because both, it's like there's my 3 favorite, shows that are, they're on one show and stuff. Now everybody's here together, and that's really cool. So that's about it. And there's a lot of other favorites, but I don't want to really go into that because I don't want to waste that much time.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Awesome.
Worlds are colliding. Worlds are colliding.
Here comes Joe sporting a CGS T-shirt.
Fashionably late, Joe.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Come on, you singer. Get close to the mic. There you go.
There we go. There's not any specific one moment, but just the fact that you guys, your influence over so many people, the books that you guys talk about are all the books on my shelf. Every time you guys recommend something, it's definitely, I start thinking about it a lot more, and I order it or something. So you guys totally got me back into comics. I was really not into comics since I was like 12 years old, and then I saw the podcast and I was like, comic talk. I'll listen to that. And it's I'm addicted to it now, and I'm addicted to comics again, and it's ridiculous.
We're sorry, Christina.
Yeah,
takes the pimp to a whole new level, right?
Oh yeah. So that's basically. I wanted to thank you guys for just getting me back into comics, and I know you guys have had an influence and an effect on a lot of other people too. So that's all.
Thanks.
We should recreate a Call Me segment right now and bring up Christina. No? Okay. I tried.
Anybody else?
I was going to ask how Christina felt about getting back him getting back in comics now.
Oh, secret conference over here.
The trials.
Well, are you doing something or not? What's it?
Yeah. We have someone watch. Don't go too far. Come on.
Come up here.
Okay. Why don't you guys?
Another former Golden Eagle employee. Come on.
Come on.
Let's go, Selesky. Get up here.
If anybody's watched the
We'll be
Crusader
gentle.
DVD,
Yes, Crusader DVD,
he's
too.
on our Crusader
Star
DVD.
of the Crusader.
Who was it?
Councilman.
Yeah, like
Do you remember your role, Neil? Do you remember your lines?
Famous lines over and over and over and over and over.
This is Neil Selesky. He's been a friend of all of us and a great friend of mine for a long time. And he's been with the show. He was actually, if I'm not mistaken, Lem's first employee.
I was.
So at the Fifth Street store. So this is Lem's first employee when he first opened the store in Fifth Street. So it was great. I thought I saw you come wandering into the store. And
I heard your laugh. I was looking in the books.
Sorry
and
to hear that.
That laugh sounded very familiar, and came halfway through the store and saw you, and sure enough, that was Kevin.
This is like Golden Eagles. This is your life.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when Lem was up here. Because we had Lem up
I need
here.
a hug.
We had Lem up here, and we interviewed him, and we got to kind of re-experience a lot of the things that we had as members of Golden Eagle and now the show and such. So I thought, why not share a little bit, see if we have something to say.
I think I know very little of what you're doing, but it sounds cool that you've got such a reach to a whole bunch of people. And if I had time, I'd love to sit in on a couple of them.
Sure.
So, but
love to hear what you have. What are you reading right now?
All DC.
Really?
I'm sorry to say that. No, I'm not actually. I got disappointed with Marvel way back in the Spider Clone,
The
Norman
90s,
Osborn return.
Yeah.
And
moans from the crowd.
Yeah, I know.
Moans
I know.
go across
Don't
the
throw
world
anything,
right now.
Right? Don't throw anything.
Yeah.
I'm reading Teen Titans, Flash. Of course, following with the Crisis storyline. And I just kind of fell into that universe. It was kind of I dabbled here and there, and Marvel was just going into a direction where I didn't like it. It was moving away from the old fun Stan Lee stories and going darker. And for me, being an eternal Spider-Man fan, I felt it was going into a direction that I didn't like, and DC just kind of got my attention, and I ran with that. So I'll pick a Marvel book up every once in a while, but I read about it in Wizard, but nothing's grabbed me enough to pick up the series. And the fact that there's, mind you, in my view, there's 14 different Spider volumes, amazing, and this and that. I can't keep track of what's going on.
Give me a minute. We'll talk.
Off the air, please. We don't have that much time.
Actually, Friendly Neighborhood. Try that out.
Yeah.
Peter David. I think you're going to find yourself enjoying kind of a fun Spider-Man again. And that's the book I'm looking forward to after this crossover is over. And I think you're going to get kind of that feel. And I think that's been expressed for some of the people already reading it and such. So that would be my suggestion.
Well, let me ask you this.
when does he have time for life with 14 different volumes of?
Oh yeah, well I mean
of books out?
Well, he's palling around with Wolverine, so
Well, it makes sense
gets
with
into that
Superman
time
because he's
flux.
Superman. And
Well,
Batman
it's-
never sleeps because he's Batman.
Well, see,
but
Sensational Spider-Man is Earth 3 Spider-Man, and Friendly Neighborhood.
They need
is-
a crisis to combine them all.
No, I agree with you. And I've said it many a time. I think Amazing Spider-Man right now, I'm not enjoying it at all. Haven't enjoyed it for a while. And the other books, the Marvel Knights, has been, but the one book that I've always been looking forward to is when Peter David came on Spidey, and I think I'm going to get what I was expecting, which is the fun Spider-Man again. So I think that's something that I probably would suggest checking out.
I like Peter David. I liked him since the 80s, since he's been a Hulk writer and everything on. So, okay, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I mean,
Lem has them for sale right now.
He's kind of
Once
stuck.
again, the power of CGS.
Yeah, there we go. But there's a crossover right now that they're doing this other thing, and I'd wait. I kind of wait until
Issue
that's over.
5, right?
So it's not like another. I think
Issue
issue
5
4
or-
just came out, so next month. Try issue 5 and see where.
Issue 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
and take it from
Mental
there
note.
and see what you.
Issue
And I'd be curious to see what you have to think. And you
Okay.
can come on the show and tell us.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
And just start listening to the show, and we'll tell you what to buy from Marvel.
We'll cue you in.
You know, I have an iPad, a iPod Nano, but I never played with the podcast. So
Well, get on
maybe,
that.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know how to do it.
Just going to go on and search
I
for
could-
iTunes and go on and look for comics podcast, and you'll see us.
There's only one?
Oh, no, there's so many.
Okay. All right.
Just don't get this one called Comics Cast.
Oh.
I'm not going to say anything, but
I'm
no.
surprised you were gonna. I thought you were
Bruce-
gonna say I read comics because
Bruce
of,
has one. Yeah, well, that's
Why
why-
the Last Man?
Yeah. Anyway, we
Just
gotta
listen
talk
to that
later.
one. I was going to say something. I thought, no, I'll stick my foot in there. Now, Bruce does a comic called Comic Cast. He does one, and Lena also does one called I Read Comics. So there's 3 comic podcasts right in this room right now that which you find. That's right.
Ian Levinstein.
Ian Levinstein was
Ian
his.
Levinstein. Geek Speak.
There you go. So there's 4 comic
You guys
podcasts.
are like ready to battle it out.
No, it's all love here, brother.
That's the 200. That's when we're going to do a massive crossover, like an Infinite Crisis or a
There you
Contest
go.
of Champions.
There you go.
Is there
one?
Is there something about Golden Eagle that you'd like to share, like a story or a special thing or something in sentiment, or? Because we had everybody kind of express something,
Why I'm still at Golden Eagle?
Yeah, why not? Whatever.
Well, I started out with it. I saw it from the beginning when it was, a dismal store on Fifth Street, and I'm the kind of person who sticks with something. If it's not, if it doesn't change dramatically, and Lem's always maintained a friendly atmosphere, and he's always had good employees, and so there's no reason for me to change.
But what was it like being the first employee, being able to get that position from being, a client, a customer, and be able to?
He hated us. No. All the junior high kids that used to come in, remember?
What's that?
All the junior high kids used to come in and probably
They used to
bother you.
entertain me.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah, because
good.
it used to be boring in the morning. I think we opened at noon, and it would be dead until about 3 o'clock, and then all the kids used to come in, and we used to hang out till 5. They'd go home, eat dinner, come back afterwards, and we'd close up at 8. Len was really good to me. He was a really good employer, excuse me.
Role reversal.
And yeah, and we used to go to shows together, and he was kind of a father figure for me too. And I think a combination of that and allegiance to him, if you will, keeps me coming back.
Cool.
So.
Great.
And this is the best shop he's had. I mean, this is
Oh,
a
yeah.
good shop. This is the best one I've seen. I travel tri-state area for my job, and I try and get to any stores that I can that are in the vicinity, and this is the nicest. And so, no reason for me to look elsewhere.
Cool.
I gotta go.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Great to see you.
Take
Thanks
care.
for
And
stopping
you.
by.
And you.
Keep in
Everybody?
touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you listen
when are
in?
these? When is it going on? Do I
We
get
have-
the information on the front on the way out?
We'll air this show. We want to give them the. We check the website. You have the cards?
Oh.
Come on, give them a card.
Business card. What kind of professional are you?
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that. Listen to the audio. Woo-hoo.
You can just go to the website and download there.
And you'll see all our episodes are archived
And
there.
they have this internet on computers now, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
This intranet, the intranet, yes.
Intranet.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you can check it out. You got everything on there, all our back episodes and everything, and keep an eye out. And this one will be up soon.
Thursday.
This
Thursday, 23, 24, 26.
Yeah.
26.
Okay.
Very good. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, gents.
See ya.
See ya.
See you. Thanks, Neil.
So we're going to just move to an announcement. There's going to be a new contest in February. It's the scavenger hunt contest. So from episodes 76 to 100, just the numbered episodes, the past 25 numbered episodes. When this episode airs on Thursday, under the contest page, I'm going to put up 25, I'll call them items, one from each of those episodes. Your role, or your mission, if you choose to accept, is to go to each episode and find out where these items are located in the episode. First of all, the first thing you're going to have to do is tell me which episode belongs to which item. And there might be some things where I'll ask for like a specific statement from like one of these guys or something like that, or a timestamp. Okay, and I'll throw one out just for just as an example. Yeah, like one of the questions, and this may stay on or may not, is in which episode during a listener email episode did Brian answer to a question $32? It's your job to go through the episodes and find out which episode it is, and also to answer or tell me what the question is too. So there'll be 25 items. We'll post it up on the page when this airs. It's a scavenger hunt contest. And what are the prizes? There's a couple prizes here. You're going to get a guest spot on the show, like we did one time before, where you'll call in, or we'll call you, and you'll just hang out with us for an hour and a half. You're going to get a Modesty Blaze trade paperback, oversized trade paper. It's about yay big, from Titan Books Publishing, I think it, or TitanBooks.com, something like that.
That's great sponsorship, Peter.
Yeah, thank you.
You won't be receiving that anymore. They're rescinding it now.
And you're also going to get Steve Bryant, the penciler on Athena Voltaire, did this gorgeous Wonder Woman pencil drawing. It's the artwork is ink on 11 by 17 Bristol board. It's gorgeous. Brian has seen it, and it's amazing. So he did this just for us. I'll read the email that he wrote with it. He says, "I appreciate." Let me see. The reason why I did the piece was to give something back to CGS. In the most recent show where you guys and John Mayo talk about sales numbers, I was nodding my head the entire time. It's no stretch that you can and have impacted sales, particularly for a small press book like mine. I did the drawing for two reasons. One, I don't get to draw mainstream characters nearly enough, and two, to express my gratitude to you guys for supporting a book from left field that you had no obligation to support, just because you guys are trying to spotlight indie comics. That means a lot to me. So I'd rather not, let's see, he says, you guys do enough for comics, let someone do something for you. It is, like I said, it's a gorgeous piece of artwork. And so those three things, and I may add one or two things to that to sweeten the pot. So that'll be your prize and that'll run the whole month of February. What I'll do is, there may be some of those items that, could probably fit a couple number of episodes. So whoever gets closest to my list, exactly which episode is which item, will obviously win. If there's a tie, we'll throw it into a thing. We'll pick one out, just as simple as that. So we're kind of trying to up the ante with that contest, because that's a lot of work. I understand that, but we're also trying to stay away from some of the drawing stuff that we've been doing. Try to do something a little different. And I think the Wonder Woman drawing alone is worth it.
You'll see this guy. You'll think he should be drawing Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
because it's awesome.
And I'll be posting that along on the contest page, or Brian will, I should say, just so you can see what it is. So does that sound like a
Kevin?
pretty
We'll need
cool
a banner
contest?
for that.
Kind of cool.
Coming right up.
Okay.
So that'll be the scavenger hunt contest for February, and it'll go up on Thursday. Might as well do the drawing now while we're in a contest mode.
Want to?
Yeah, sure.
That's cool.
Go ahead. Watch it now so I can get it.
All right. The door prize was contributed to us.
Well, it's not fragile.
From DCBS and InStockTrades.com, and it's a $25 gift certificate to InStockTrades.com. So,
hang on a second. I want to put my name in. Come on.
So somebody want to come up? Vince, you're right up front.
Jess.
Oh, okay. Look at Jess.
He won.
Oh, sorry,
Nobody's
Vince.
going to get mad at her.
Yeah.
This is my daughter Jessica, by the way. So, 13 going on 85.
Oh, look at that. Late Joe Pasco.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So Joe, we'll I'm gonna email Cameron and let him know, and then you can claim your prize.
You want to do a second one?
Well, there's like 3.
Oh, there's 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He
So
can't
we
count
just
yet.
go ahead. Finish that up. If you're,
want to draw?
you're done.
Are you going to draw?
Are you done?
Yeah, well, I
didn't know if
told
he was
him
done
what
with
he
his
needs to know. Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing we even got to 100 episodes with this kind of.
Now, Vince, come
Just-
Yeah,
Oh,
Golden
I have
Eagle
your-
just donated 3 of the Crisis posters, which is the Alex Ross, George Perez. Actually, I think it's just the George Perez issue 1, which is a really nice poster.
Why not? You're that good. We put it back in.
Oh, why'd you? That's your lucky day, Joe.
I thought we were done. I didn't know we were going to keep doing it. No, he's not going to get it. David Price.
There you go.
Got 2 more?
Lena, come forward.
Brian Rosenberger.
All right.
Wow. Cool.
That was fixed.
Last one.
We need one of those machines like the Lotto.
B12.
Marty Devine.
Marty Devine.
There you go.
Nice. Such a price poster.
Thank you once again, Lem.
Thanks. That was awesome.
All right. So, what do you guys think about trivia? Trivia? What episode would we complete without stumping the Rios, or in this case, stumping the geeks? Okay. So I hope some of you
Did
have some
anybody bring
questions.
questions?
Did anybody do their homework? Any
I
preparation?
know we didn't call for it, but I thought maybe somebody might have
I
something.
thought somebody would have some questions with them.
Well, it's not really homework if you don't assign it.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. What? You might have one?
Yeah.
Come up
Go
to the
up.
mic.
It's a Marvel question, unfortunately. Who was the first person Nightwing ever teleported with?
Wait, you said
I'm
Marvel?
sorry, see? DC on the brain. Nightcrawler. Who was the very first person he ever teleported with?
That's a really good question.
Yikes. You guys figure it out. I'll try to see what kind of prize, if he stumps us, what he'll get.
Something Rios.
No, it's Stump the Geeks.
Hey, I don't know. If you think you know, then go.
Huh? Anybody else? No, it's not.
It's not like somebody when he was being chased by those villagers or anything?
Well, that issue. Yeah, that's the issue I'm thinking of, but I'm thinking who.
Well, this is really boring now. Right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Jamie,
I'm the
you
only
read
one.
those issues, right? You don't know?
Yeah, I read them, but I have no
What
idea.
about Scott? Scott, you think you have an answer?
Who's the first person I almost said Nightwing, Nightcrawler ever teleported with?
I know Xavier contacted him because he was being chased by the villagers. I don't know. But I can't remember if...
It's a little later than that.
Oh, it's later than that? Wow. I don't know. Storm. That's what I'm going to say, Storm.
Lilandra.
Really?
It was. I think it's
Blame
in
yourself.
I think it's in issue 107.
Okay.
Because he teleports with her, and he's like, says something in German. I never tried that before, and so because I was reading it the other day. How about that?
There you go.
There you go.
He got it.
Well, so
the power.
You're gonna win. We'll give you a bunch of stuff here. Crusaders DVD. You already have one?
Yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay. Well, here. These are 2 volumes of the cartoon theme songs, the ones that we used for the episode 20. I'll give you a
poster of Peter.
Do you have one of these? The Frank Cho Teen Titans from
Half
Baltimore.
naked.
Comics.
This is a
Sitting on
picture
the
of
couch like George
Peter
Costanza.
pressing ham.
Hold on, I'll give you something else.
Jeez.
Don't you have a press shot from one of your shows, Peter?
Oh my goodness.
How about an Infinite Crisis poster? You have one of those? There you go. Cool. Thanks.
There you
Wow,
go.
nice.
It's that easy.
Does anybody else have a question?
Unfortunately.
Oh, let him go first. His hand was up first.
This is a Marvel question. Sorry.
Everybody apologize for a Marvel
I
question.
can't answer any DC questions, so bring on the Marvel.
Because right now we're in the era called the Bendis Depression.
Yeah, shut up.
I apologize. I don't know the issue number. There's a very famous classic issue of Claremont X-Men where Rogue punches Juggernaut and the sonic boom breaks every window on the entire street. It's an issue where Longshot wins one of his feats of power where he manages to take Juggernaut's helmet off with just a few knives. Who was the artist on that issue?
Can we ask, like,
Well,
in
wait.
80s? Is it in the 80s? Or?
Well,
this was...
Oh, long shot, so it had to be.
Well, and Rogue didn't come into the X-Men until...
I bet you that's that Silvestri issue. Is that Mark's... who came on with when Dazzler was on the team and Longshot and Rogue and...
Was it John Romita Jr. issue?
No.
No, actually, you said it.
Mark Silvestri.
Yeah,
yeah,
you got it.
nice.
That's what I thought.
Well, here, for playing, you get to cartoon theme songs.
Ooh.
You like them? You like cartoon themes? You like watch cartoon? Great, there you go.
That was a good ooh. That wasn't a bad ooh.
Who's that? Ian, all right.
All right, let's see if I can get this out. It's actually a two-parter. Okay, in Peter David's run of Captain Marvel, the first one, what comic book is Rick Jones reading in Marla's comic shop, and what is he laughing about? Yep.
It's that, I'm not saying it right now. It's that Hulk annual, the one that Byrne did, the Hulk Chapter 1, and he's laughing because of Skrulls, like they included Skrulls in the in the origin and stuff like that.
There you go.
There you go. Here, playing the game. You want a Crusaders DVD? Okay. Do you have that?
Wasn't it a two-part?
Yeah, I answered both.
Those were the two parts.
What was the thing?
What comic was it, and what was he laughing about?
Whose phone is that?
Oh, is that you?
Mine.
Oh, quarter in
Take the quarter jar.
That must be Spielberg calling for the movie rights.
Anybody have a question?
Oh,
Does
Lem
he?
has one.
The Godfather?
Yes, I have a proxy. I am Scott. I'll be Scott today. I have a trivia question proxy from Lem. It's a Disney question. So, Pete, sit down.
It's for Peter.
Who are Mickey Mouse's? What are Mickey Mouse's nephews' names? Not Donald Duck's nephews. They're easy. Mickey Mouse's nephews' names.
Yikes.
Weren't they the Three Blind Mice?
I don't know that I knew that you had nephews.
Jamie?
No idea.
Like I said, I had no idea you had nephews.
Just one? Bruce is saying just one. We got a call from the judge over there. Oh, you can only think of one. Morty?
That's it. That's one I was told. I didn't know either.
Randy, do you know? No, I do not. Oh. Somebody know out there? No? I have no idea.
Morty and Ferdy
Morty and Ferdy. Wow, I guess that's a quarter. I have no change. Oh yeah, I do.
Any? You don't have any change.
So you got to give Lem a prize on the way out.
Yeah.
Give me a cake.
Did somebody else? Oh yeah, here comes
Give him some Batman.
Gambit.
This might be an easy one compared to the other ones, but I had to write them down to remember them. Name all 8 members of Justice League Antarctica.
It's Major Disaster, right? What's that? Nort. Was the Scarlet Skier one of them? It's like, I know who it is. Clock King.
Yeah, I thought it was the guys that were.
Big Sur.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did I say? Major Disaster. You said there's 8?
8.
Jesus. Clue Master. You said Nort, right? Wow.
Ski Man. Penguin Lad.
Can I ask if the Scarlet Skier is one of them? Or no? No, I don't know if that is.
The Bro.
No.
Manseer.
I'm trying to think of that cover.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think
Darn
of.
it.
Nothing.
They were also in.
They're not all on the cover, I don't think.
Yeah, that's right, and they're also in the Keith Giffen Suicide Squad.
Because they're all their backs to the cover. That's
right.
They were turned around the other way.
Damn it.
No.
Go ahead. Wait.
One of them, Bruce.
Bruce! Was Bruce one?
Money Bruce.
That's right.
That doesn't count.
Nice.
That's his.
Go ahead. What are the other ones?
I think you forgot Multi-Man.
Oh.
He was the only other one you didn't get. Big Sur, Clock King, Multi-Man, Clue Master, Major Disaster, Bruce, Nort, and the Scarlet Skier.
How many questions do you have? Does that just have one?
I got one more.
Go ahead.
This might be... Peter's probably going to get this one right away.
That was fun.
Who is the first member of the Ostrander-era Suicide Squad to be killed in action?
Yeah, that's yours.
Mind Boggler.
In the series, she was, but in Legends 3, it was Blockbuster.
Oh.
In their first appearance, Blockbuster 1.
Did you say John Ostrander Suicide
He wrote
Squad?
that.
Yeah, but I thought you meant the series.
In the John Ostrander era
All
Suicide Squad. I'll let the judges. Just Mac, because you lost the Suicide Squad
poster. I know. Oh, look, my family's here. Great. Do you have a Crusaders DVD?
I don't have
There you go. Have fun.
Now you do.
Want to do that? All right, anybody else have any other questions for us? Oh,
Here goes Brian.
Here comes some more.
Okay.
Hey, let
Hold-
it rip, man.
It's been a while since I read it. Who was the first villain that Spider-Girl fought? Huh?
In her series?
Yeah.
I said eat it, not whack your face
We don't
into
have
it.
insurance yet, so. In her series.
You guys are a lot of help down there, I got to tell you.
Yeah, so much for our
It's been
knowledge.
so long since I read the first issue of that. Oh. That's me.
Green Goblin or
No.
I stay away from Spider-Girl like I do vegetables.
Scorpion?
What was that?
I don't know, but I think
It was a fat thing.
Something about every time I see Spider-Girl, he thinks of vegetables.
Matt, shut up.
I don't know. I give up.
choking.
I really don't have an.
You guys had
No.
a Green Goblin.
Oh, wasn't it? Oh.
Go
Well,
with
we
your
didn't,
first
we didn't
instinct.
answer it, see? How'd you like a t-shirt? It's an old school t-shirt. It's our old design, but hey, how about that? All right, cool. There you go.
Good job, Brian.
Awesome.
Name 600 members of Titans. I mean, not Titans, Legion. That's what I meant.
Yep, I'm going right to your strength, Legion of Superheroes.
There you go.
In the 200th issue of Superboy and Legion of Superheroes, Bouncing Boy and Duo Damsel were married. In the spread that Dave Cockrum did for the wedding, there were 2 representatives from Mars that were not part of the Legion. Who were they?
One was Martian Manhunter.
That's the easy one.
Was it the guy that used to hang around the
The bathroom. The toilet.
no, Chris Kale 9, like his partner, that Martian guy? He had a Martian. No, you're looking at me funny.
Wasn't it My Favorite Martian?
Yes, it was Ray Walston. No, he was there.
I can't think.
John Carter of Mars.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Rice Pearl?
Wow, that's. You have a Crusaders DVD? Give you one of those. Hold on, I'll give you something else.
We're really batting 1,000 here, I'll tell you that.
Wow. We're tanking.
They'll never listen again.
We should call it Wannabe Comic Geek Speak.
That's right.
Didn't we reveal that we really don't read comics? We just everything we say is from off the internet.
No, that's Brian. He never retains nothing.
Thank you. Thanks for playing.
Good job.
Wow.
You wanna
Gotcha.
flip the tables now?
He got
Yeah.
you.
Why don't we do that? We'll turn the tables on you guys. I'll vamp for a little bit while I get the questions in the prizes.
Well, now it's
Vamp.
Yeah?
Oh, you got one? Go ahead.
You're not gonna win it.
This one's for Matt.
Well, it is another Legion question.
Peter.
Yeah.
In Legion Lost number 3, what is the name of the material that the Quai use to make all of their stuff? Their brief home, their township, their clothes.
No, I'm not going to get it.
Pin particles.
Nth metal.
It's use weave. It's called use weave. I actually gave you a little bit of a hint there.
Yeah, I do remember that though. Good question. Good.
You have your questions ready yet?
It wasn't.
My.
It wasn't unstable molecules.
My lord.
Could have been adamantium. You know, everything's made out of antimantium.
Mantimantium.
I'm starting to talk like Jamie now.
All right, I'm still vamping for Peter here.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start out with a couple. The price, if you get whatever these questions are going to be.
Are you going to do a couple warm-up questions?
You want to?
Yeah, so they know where you're coming from.
All right. How are we going to choose? What are they just going to raise their hand? Whoever shouts that out first.
So they know how you screw us when we play the game.
Yeah, we don't have our Jeopardy buttons here, so I don't know. Everyone's honest. They'll tell us who said it first.
All right, here's an easy one. Sheriff Hugo Root is the father of which preacher character? Yeah, okay. Remember, these are just for show right now. What's that? No prizes yet. They said it. Who created the android Amazo? Yeah. Mark Martin is what Flash rogue? No. Mark Martin is what Flash rogue? Nope.
Not the top.
Weather Wizard. That is correct. Let's see. This is an easy one. Rittmeister Hans van Hammer is better known as...
He's the guy that wrote the Miami Vice theme.
I thought this would be an easy one. This is DC. Hans von Hammer. Enemy Ace. Thank you, Scott. Oh.
All right.
All right.
Real deal now?
Do the real deal. All right. Let's see. All right.
Oh, and he gets that laugh.
Yeah, look out.
All right, if you get this, you're going to get the Transformers Earth Force graphic novel from www.titanbooks.com. It's just a little digest-size thing, black and white.
From the original UK run of Transformers.
Not available. No, I have no idea. What is the secret identity of JLA's Vibe?
Peter Rio. Peter Rios.
It is Peter Rios. Because he's the only one who cares.
I'll give you a hint. Though. It does have the same initials as my name. PR.
Don't go there. I was stopping Matt because I knew that's what was coming.
No. Keep going. No. Oh.
Pablo Rodriguez.
That's Paul
Who
Rubin.
knows it up here? Paco Ramon. Oh. The Transformer Digest is just stands. All right. We got some Blue Beetle fans here, right? Here and there. What phrase did Dan Garrett utter to turn into the original Blue Beetle? Oh, you're not that big of a fan, though, are you?
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Silence.
What's that? No, not quite. All right, it's Kaji Da. Kaji Da.
You can also order that on a menu at any Japanese restaurant.
With curry.
All right, how's this? Captain Marvel receives his strength from which god?
Who said Hercules?
Hercules is right. Here you go.
Do some Marvel questions now.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to
Come
switch
on.
it up. Relax. Hold your horses. All right, this is for the other Transformers Digest called Fallen Star, also from TitanBooks.com. Let's see. Which of the... no, I can't do that. Sorry. Some of these are too easy.
Yeah, they're
Sorry.
not too easy for me.
Probably
You and me
list
both,
all the
Brian.
Avengers that have
All right.
colors in there.
I'll name some members of a team. You have to tell me the name of the team. Foxbat, Barrage, Gauntlet, Tusk, and Synapse. This is Marvel now. No. This is hard. This is hard. Foxbat, Barrage, Gauntlet, Tusk, and Synapse. Give up. Apocalypse's Dark Riders.
It's clear as a banal. I don't know what I was thinking.
Let's see. Franklin Richards once joined the Power Pack under what code name?
Shame on anyone
Shame
who knows
on you
this.
if you know it.
The son of Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Tattletale.
I was thinking half
Now
pint.
you know why.
Now you know. Where was Storm of the X-Men born? I'll take Harlem, New York City. There you go. All right, next prize is we'll go with the Transformers theme. You get this Transformer poster. You'll also get this Transformer pin, Decepticon pin. Ooh. What do you win, Bob?
It's amazing how there's no Transformer questions to go along.
Yeah, I'm actually getting one. Hold
Yeah,
on.
he's got
there.
him
I
now.
got
Yeah,
him.
you-
Hold
you're
on.
gonna get one.
Oh, that's too easy. Vamp. Somebody vamp.
This is all Peter's opinion of too easy. Mine too.
Well, after the show's over, any of you guys, we're gonna hopefully be doing some sponsorship with this company called Millcase, and so they sent me one, and I should have a comic here. This is actually like a giant CD jewel case that you can put a comic in. Of course, it has a board. I don't know if it'll fit. And so if you have a few that you want to like really put on display, yeah, this is with the board. It's too big, but you don't need a bag and board then. So you just put the comic in. Wow, they're really cool. I think they're like $2 each. So obviously you wouldn't put every comic you own, but for
Unless
a
you're
few
Shane.
that you're hanging on the wall or something like that.
John Mayo might. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brian, I don't
Pretty
need more to
cool.
buy.
All right. This because it's the only Transformer one I could find. Which of Soundwave's cassette tapes was a parrot?
A parrot?
A parrot.
I don't even remember seeing it on the cartoon.
Close. Close. Yeah. It's Squawk Talk.
I think the amazing thing is that Peter knows these.
You want the pin? Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's go back to Marvel here. What was Rom's first appearance? 1979. 1979. There's your hint. No. Who's? It was kind of a tie. Who said it? Was Rom number one? You want the post?
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, that's for those Uncle Scrooge questions. Well, Bruce has decided not to take the prize, so we'll leave it on the table there.
You want a Crusaders DVD?
What? No, he has.
Oh, you have one.
Oh,
Oh, that's right.
We'll give him some. Let's.
Now we're just
You
giving
fool.
them away. Yeah.
All right, here's an easy one. What is elongated man's secret identity?
Who said that? Who said that but hasn't won a prize?
Ralph Dibney, by the way, is the answer for
What's that?
those listening
Did
at
you
home.
win a prize yet? You, oh, you
So did he.
Oh, come on.
All right, give it a harder one.
All right. You guys are no fun. No. Yeah. Raise your hand this time, just in case. Oh, here's one. In Kingdom Come, the future version of the Metal Men was collectively known as
Alloy.
Yes. You're welcome. Getting all kinds of shocks. All right, next prize, ma'am.
I didn't bring Vamp material.
You would make an amazing Taskmaster understudy, Peter.
I've got some toy lines that have hit 100 figures. Batman has well over 100 figures. Star Wars, the original series. Of course, now they have thousands. G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero. DC Direct has hit 100 figures. Smurfs. Barbie. Muppets. Mego. Did Mego figures, the superhero figures, did they have 100? A bunch of them?
I don't know if they ever reached 100 of them.
I kept trying to look it up and I couldn't find anything on it.
They might have gotten close, but I don't think they ever hit 100 different figures.
This one's for Brian, Playmate Star Trek figures. And Transformers, I'm sure have hit well over 100. So that's toy lines I researched that have 100.
Okay, this is for another one of those New Teen Titans by Frank Cho Baltimore Comic-Con posters. The headquarters of the All-Star Squadron was made up of which two structures? What were they called? See, I'll start off with hard ones and go down to the easier ones. Just
Part 1 and Part 2.
yeah. No. The headquarters of the All-Star Squadron was made up of these two structures. No? It's called the Perisphere and the Trilon.
Oh, that was obvious.
Here's a Marvel one. Marvel one for the poster. Who is Tandy Bowen? Who'd you say? Okay, all right. Oh, you already have one of those? You already got a Crusaders DVD? You want the official novelization of the Spider-Man movie? There you go. Well, it's free, It's Peter David. It's great. All right, we'll go back to the poster again. Let's see here. Sorry. I'm getting there. Hold on. Some of them are too hard. I gotta
Think, McFly, think.
Who is the Green Lantern that is a planet? His hand in the back, guys. There you go. Mogo is correct.
There's a Green Lantern who's an entire planet.
Yes. Written by Alan Moore in the DC universe. It's in the trade right now. It's great. It's wonderful.
Oh, there's a crossover waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Mogo and Eon.
Ego.
Yeah, that's right. Ego.
Let's see. This is for a Crusaders DVD. Longshot's ram-headed companion is called what? What's his name from Marvel? Longshot's ram-headed. He has he looks like a ram. What was that? Oh. Nobody know? No. It's Quark. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Here's an easy one. During World War II, Nick Fury led a specially trained band of soldiers named. I heard it coming from.
I don't want to. You take it.
We worked hard on this, damn it.
Take it. I love it.
That cost me $4,000. So you know.
Literally.
Okay. All right, we got a we got a big prize here. So this one you have to raise your hand. No calling out. That too. That could be a separate one. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. We'll wait for that one. We'll do JLA classified number 1. Anybody interested in that? JSA. Yeah. Okay. JSA. Excuse me.
Not the cover that's worth a lot of money.
Not the cover, right? Because we
keep something.
All right, here we go. What is in Starman? What is Jack Knight's shop called? Knight's Pass. Raises his hand.
That is one just for everybody out there listening that we have had on the when we play this game so many times and we screw it up so many times.
Okay.
As much as we like that story.
So this prize is the Crisis of Conscience storyline from JLA. Ties into Infinite Crisis. It's a pretty good story and also very important in what's going on. So I'm going to try to pick one here that's nobody's going to be able to win. Sorry. And please raise your hand so we know. Okay, here we go. In order, name the 4 titles that make up Frank Miller's first Dark Knight miniseries. Raise your hand if you know. Keep that. I'll try to look for another one if they don't get it. Nobody's raising their hand. Somebody watch just because I'm looking for another card here.
There's some thought going on, but
nobody
looking
can
around
guess.
The shop.
It's amazing how there's probably those books back in those.
Don't tell Joe that'll turn around and go through the boxes and pull them out.
Well, it's not like we're not watching everybody that also we wouldn't realize it's someone.
No. Nobody wanted to take a shot? Nobody taking a shot? I think we screwed this one up too when we had it in play.
Go ahead, Kevin, read it.
Want to know? All right. It's Dark Knight Returns, Dark Knight Triumphant, Hunt the Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Falls.
Wah, wah, wah. All right. So the prize is still up. Let's see. Hold on here. Trying to pick one that's...
He's going through looking for hard questions. I'm reading them. I don't know a single answer on any of them.
And this surprises you?
All right, here's one. This might be easy. This is Marvel. Magic. Her demonic manifestation was named what? No. Her. No. No. Herself. Dark Child. There it is. There you go. Nice job. All right. That's all I can do.
All right.
Where do we want to go next?
I don't know. What do you want to do next?
Let's see. We did the stone. We want to throw it out to you guys again, and we want to do an off the rack segment with you guys. The only stipulation is obviously don't spoil anything because one of us will probably beat you up if you do because we don't want to know it. Just come up, talk about a book you've read recently that you really want to pimp, or that you just really enjoyed, or that you didn't enjoy. All right. So if anybody has anything, this is your chance now to come up and talk.
Yeah, warning people to stay away from a book.
Yeah. So who wants to go? Something you read. Could have been anything.
Anything past,
Here
present.
comes Randy. That's fine. Great. You'll break the ice.
And naturally enough, it's Legion of Superheroes.
Okay.
I'm not even too sure what number I'm up to right now. I'm about a month behind the actual reading. For anybody who's a long-term Legion fan or who has ever read the Legion of Superheroes, the recent take is very different. this time around. Instead of so much being defenders of the universe, basically they are agents for change. They are teenagers or children who do not like the society they are living in. They do not like the order, the lack of chaos, the almost, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not even so much stagnation, it's just very kind of boring is the word I think I'm really looking for, universe that they live in. Brainiac is even more maniacal. Brainiac 5 is even more maniacal in this instance than he's been in the past. He makes Geffen's Brainiac look just very childish by comparison. There is a lot of inner turmoil between the Legion heroes themselves. Cosmic Boy and Brainiac are actually fighting for control. The heroes' powers are a little bit different. Anybody who's familiar with the Legion, Colossal Boy is one of the ones who's been around forever, and Colossal Boy has always been basically a human who grew to a large size. The retake on him this time is basically he is a large person who shrinks down to our size. He's actually a giant from his world. It's kind of a neat take. Most of the heroes have a little bit different take on their powers. The artwork, at least up to this point that I've read, has been really good. It's sharp, the lines are crisp. It's what a superhero comic should be. I'm not too sure where they're going. I've looked at previews, and Supergirl is somehow being folded into this. I'm not real thrilled about that. I don't really care to see the S floating around in this universe, either being boy, man, or girl. But I think it's a book worth reading. They're coming out with the trades. Pick up one of the trades and read it. I think you'll actually like it a little bit. And if not, they'll cancel it and reboot it again.
I think I saw the first trade, Teenage Revolution, on the stand just back there, too, if anybody has any interest. Anybody else? Here we go.
That is very good. I'm enjoying Legion very much.
I've got a couple. I'm usually a trade paperback sort of person, so I gravitate towards going to the TPB section. And I just picked up the Sea Guy trade and Fables trade paperback number 6, Homelands. And Sea Guy, I have no idea what I read, but it seems to be good for the most part. It was weird.
Gee, is that Grant Morrison?
It's Grant Morrison. It's definitely.
Score 1 for Brian.
There's something about a crazy theme park built up around this walking, talking, gibberish eye, and he plays chess with a Venetian gondolier who happens to be Death. There's weird stuff about the Wasps of Atlantis. I have no idea what was going on with it. You'll either love it or hate it. I enjoyed it, and I want to see the sequel whenever it comes out. And then there was Fables, which has continually been excellent and wonderful, and this is no different. We finally get to see what's been going on back in the homelands that the Fables fled from, and it's eye-opening, and at some points it's quite downright horrifying, and at other points it's quite funny. It's Fables. I really can't defend it. If you haven't gotten into Fables yet, I don't see why you shouldn't. It's this, as it says on the back, it's highly literate fantasy comics about fantasy and what that means to people and why it's important to keep reading fantasy. And the fact that it's comics that are enforcing this notion that fantasy is worth reading. I don't know. I haven't read much that makes me want to live in my imagination in books lately, and so that I picked up these two books, totally different styles. Fables is very dry and literate, and Sea Guy is wild and off the cuff and completely insane and makes absolutely no sense. But they're both about the power of imagination and about how comics and heroes are still important to people today. And so I'd recommend them to anyone who has any interest in that sort of thing.
Nice.
Thank you.
And just to throw something in after Homelands, and everybody knows that I love Fables. The storyline they're doing right now with the Arabian Nights is just amazing. And Scott, who has been reading it monthly with me, we just went back and forth with his last issue. I got done reading it, and it's one of those Jones, and you couldn't believe he just did what he did with this issue. I came in and talked to him, and he was like, "Yeah, that's so great." So this, I love this series. That series is just fabulous.
And before I mention what I'm going to talk about, I blame / thank you guys for making me go out and buy the 6 trades for Fables. I'm absolutely loving it as well. I'm going to talk about one that I liked and one that I really didn't like. I'll start off with the one that I liked. The Young Avengers special that was released this past month. It does a great job of giving the origins for a lot of the characters involved with Young Avengers. It basically understands how they became superheroes in the first place, and it's great seeing a bunch of different artists' take on these characters, because you've got a lot of different styles in there, and yet somehow they all blend together incredibly well. It's nice seeing Michael Gaydos draw Jessica Jones again, because I was a huge fan of Alias, and he does most of these scenes involved with Jessica Jones, so it's a good take on that. And also, you understand a lot about the characters once you actually get their backstory and how they ended up where they are. The one that I don't like, All-Star Batman #3. If there's one thing I can't understand, is putting an artist like Jim Lee with a writer like Frank Miller. They don't mesh. It's as simple as that. One guy with a very straightforward style, it's not exactly gritty at all like you would expect from something like Frank Miller. Going with Frank Miller is, you're going to get a comic that just does not work. The art, it's not the best Jim Lee art I've seen. He's going for a couple of more cheesecake than I like to see out of him. His Black Canary was incredibly cheesecake. I don't know what she's doing wearing that mask either. It's not even close to the best Frank Miller writing either. I like to see him more of a grounded type guy, and he just seems to be rewriting Sin City. Only it's Batman, and it just really does not work. I hope it'll get better as time goes on, but if not, I'm going to drop this in the next couple of issues because I am just not impressed at all. So there's one I like and one I don't.
Cool. Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, here comes Sean.
I guess I got more of a writing team than just a plain book. And I'm probably going to get Oral Quarter for this one. Paul Miotti and Gray on Hawkman, and Jonah Hex too. Actually, I read the 2 issues from them. They end up on the top of my stack. I actually dropped when they took over Hawkman. I dropped it from my pull list. I ended up dropping it after the first issue, though. And when I got the first issue, I was pleasantly surprised. It was really, really great. My wife hates it because I had to go and pick up the rest of the issues afterwards. But I'm actually very sad because of 1 year later, and they're switching creative teams, that a new creative team's coming on. I'm thrilled with the creative team that's coming on, but they really surprised me. With Jonah Hex too, one of the reasons why I like it, they've gone back to doing the 1-issue story, which is really, really cool. Each issue is very self-contained. If you didn't pick up any of the issues, you can pick up 1, 2, or 3, and they're very self-contained stories, which is very cool for somebody who wants to walk into a shop and just grab a book, read an issue, and just enjoy that concept. They don't do that, I don't think, enough. So it's really more their creative team that I'm really just enjoying, mainly because I didn't give them a chance. And when I finally did read their book, which was at the bottom of my stack at the time, it rose right to the top. So just a great team. So
cool.
Sure, go right in. Another comment coming up.
I'm about to leave to go back to college because I came home for the weekend specifically to be here for this. And now I have to go back to Muhlenberg College and back to Beachhead Comics. And I just wanted to say it was a pleasure to be here. It was nice to meet you all. It was nice to have people who talk about comics and have this sense of a community about comics, because most of the time when you're online, you don't get that sense. You get a lot of sorry, Jeff Johns, but your comic board kind of gets a little irritating. You get a lot of that, oh, well, if you don't like this, we don't like you, because your opinion obviously sucks. And you get a lot of people who really get hurt about what certain decisions, and it's just nice to be in a situation where it doesn't matter. Everybody here, we all read comics, we all love them, even if they cause us pain sometimes. And I just wanted to say thanks for being here and giving me the opportunity to see a community that I don't usually get a chance to see in person and in real life.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thanks for coming.
Thanks. I think we can segue into open it up. Any last minute things, maybe? Yeah. We're going to wind up. So if anybody feels like they want to do any kind of last minute things, Speak now or forever hold your peace. If not, I do want to thank all the sponsors from the past couple episodes: DCBS, In Stock Trades, eGerber, Drawer Boxes, Pixel Strips, Atomica, Mercury Comics, Crazy Comics, Desperado, Devil's Due, Earth-2.net, Earth-2.net, Open Book Press, and of course the New York Comic Con.
Tomorrow's Publishing,
Top Shelf, IDW. I mean, the list goes on and on. Because they are really, first of all, they're taking a chance with this. You know, they don't know what kind of, or I mean, they kind of they know the audience, but we're just local guys just trying to make good, and they're helping to keep the show going and in every way that they can, whether it's be a sponsorship or prizes to give it to you guys and things like that. I have a couple of firsts. Like we mentioned, our first interview with Shane Felix, our first female listener, Catherine from Philly, that made herself known to us, I should say. Remember when we got the Alpha Shade trades and how excited we were?
Oh man, that's
it was like
right.
Our first. It was the first thing that we got. It was like a review copy, I guess.
Right.
And we got 2 of those, and he drove to my house and handed it to me. Look what we got, So that was fun.
And that was good stuff too.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Was Eggers and Murph, were they our first UK listeners that made themselves known, I think?
Yeah,
definitely.
I think so.
And was Mike Parkinson our first Australian listener that made himself known?
As far as I know, yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. Our first listener email is either Omar or Lee Morgan. It's one of the two. I can't remember which one it is.
Wow, yeah, I have to go back.
And that was like, wow, somebody's actually listening. That was amazing. Chris Vaccaro was the first guy that sent in a Stump the Rios. That wasn't, Brian's submission. He was the first one to send something in. We mentioned Peter David. He was actually really the first professional interview we had.
Right.
And of course, Garrett Seamus and Brian Miller. And I know there's like so many more. I don't know who the first forum person was. I don't, but there was a lot of those things. I keep track of a lot of that stuff just because I'm an organizational nut. And I also like that. I like seeing that. Bill was the first guy we met at Baltimore when we were down there, and I'll remember that, forever. So that kind of stuff really kind of is cool. Shane was the first geek to come on to the show other than just Brian and I in episode 3, so I remember that. I don't know. Does anybody have any other kind of things like that they remember? Things that were like, oh, look, no. Okay, thanks.
I think I was the first one that you wish wouldn't come back.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's true.
This is the first endeavor in comic entertainment that I haven't lost a lot of money on.
There you go.
So that's good so far.
Of course, we have.
I've been robbing you blind. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Of course, we have to thank Lena for our fabulous puppets, and I know we didn't use them, but they're sitting here on the table. And I also have to thank her for the shirt that I got. Do a little promotion here. If you're not listening to our podcast, you should. Although Brian probably won't be listening anymore.
You definitely should.
I got my very own I Love LT t-shirt. It's all red in the face. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think I have another first.
Go.
I think Lena was the first other comics podcaster that I met in person. We met her in San Diego, and that was before you were at our house, wasn't it, Bruce?
Yeah, it was. Definitely
that was. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And I guess is Los Comiquicos the first podcast crossover we had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to remember those things, and I can't wait to make more of those kind of things for the next 200. And I apologize. I was going to have the Stump the Rios Hall of Fame and list all the people that actually stumped me, but I couldn't get the list again. I woke up at 4:30 this morning. It was just like going crazy. So I'll post that somewhere. And anybody who has one, you can now submit again. We've been trying to keep that away. So if you've won, submit again. See if you can get me the next time. So, but thank you for all that. And anybody have anything to say up here? Oh, we can't forget Tasha too. Sorry, not to cut these guys off. Can't forget Tasha. Go, do it.
She's gonna tell us to get out of her house.
Well, actually, what I wanted to say is I've been behind the scenes of the show since the very beginning when Brian was like, I've been listening to these podcast things, and I think it's really cool. We should try doing one. So I've been behind the scenes, myself and our 2 dogs, Greta and Eli. And in the beginning, it was a real pain in the ass having you guys over 3 times a week, getting in my face, bugging me to make dinner for you.
Peter. That's Peter.
That's all Peter.
It was worth it, and I think you're doing a really great thing, and I'm proud of you. So.
She's like the Sue Richards of the group.
Way to bring it back to comics.
Yeah. Swing it.
Anybody up here? Last minute thoughts?
No, just other than thank all of you for coming. That's all. You know, I was hoping we get 5 people to come and to see you all and put names with faces and everything like that. It's just great for me, and I love you guys, and thank you.
I resonate that it's because of you that I enjoy it so much. I enjoy the friends I've made, and I hope to make a bazillion more.
Yeah, I've said it before, but when we started, the first episode or 2 or 5 were for us, and now they're all for you. I mean, there's we can talk comics together anytime, so we don't have to record it. But now we're doing it because of 2,500 people out there who seem to like what we're doing, and the forum members especially. I mean, I go on and things are I post the episode. By the 5 seconds after it's done FTPing, I go to the forum. Someone's got a thread going, episode 97. It's like, oh my god, So you guys are very cool, and it is very difficult to describe the emotions that I have when I think about the involvement that we have in the comics community now, worldwide, even on a small scale. I mean, we know that there are a lot more people reading comics than 2,500 people. But even though it's a tiny percentage, we see a difference being made. We see sales numbers being affected on in-stock trades, and we get emails saying, thank you for recommending this book. And now I'm reading books that I wouldn't have if it wasn't for people recommending it. And that just feels good. And I don't know how to say that in words properly, but it's really cool for someone. I mean, I tried to publish a book once. Nobody read it. Just put a lot of time and effort into Crusaders. Nobody watched it. I tried to get involved in the comics world. It never happened. Now it's happening. Now we're talking to creators. Now they're listening. They want to know what we think. Now people are buying books that we say are good. That is incredible. And that's just fantastic for me to see, and I love it, and I thank you guys for listening, because again, without you, there wouldn't be a show anymore, because it would be pointless. So,
and to add on to that, as far as where I like to comment on is the forum, that I appreciate that all the fun and effort that we put into the forum, that everybody participates and supports and list their opinions and what they don't like and what they do, but that everybody's cool about it, that everybody treats everybody with respect. I mean, I know when we first did the forum on the other forum, that was the reason we started a forum. It was just for us, because we got sick and tired of the other forums and what was happening on the forums, and so we created our own. That way we could kind of control what was going on, and it just expanded out into the show. And like I said, it has become an entity of itself. And I'm proud of the forum, not only because of the wonderful people we have on there, but how it's handled. And it's not because of us. It's because of you guys and everybody out there that listens, that follows through and treats everybody equally. And we can disagree or whatever, but we all come from the same place. And we can all start back from square one even after so. So I love it, and I hope it continues, and I hope it blossoms to more and more, that we get more people signed up and contributes, and I love it. So thank you all for that and for your demeanor and respect on the forums. I think it's wonderful. Something to be proud of.
Okay.
Anything else?
All right. I hope you guys had fun. I hope it was worth the trip.
If it wasn't, keep your opinions to yourself.
I had fun. I am so looking forward to New York Comic Con and just meeting everybody else that we couldn't meet in New York, in San Diego, when we can finally go out to the West Coast and see all those guys out there and gals that want to meet us or that I want to meet. When we go to Chicago, Baltimore, wherever we wind up, I can't wait because now it's like we have friends everywhere, and that is. I don't even want to shop anymore. I don't care about that stuff. I want to meet you guys, and that to me is really worth it. So, great,
fantastic.
Want to take us out?
Well, I guess that wraps up at 2 hours and 29 minutes, episode 100. So, thanks everyone, and I will see you at episode 101.
We'll continue to unite the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time. Yep. Take care.